And yes, are we ready? Right now on 710, we're taking off with 9 hours of live and local LA sports talk.
The home of the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
We call it the LAX, LA Sports Mega Block. Of course, powered every day by LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, where change arrives daily. Let's get to it. Time to get in the air. We're taking off, LA.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Travis and Sliwa has clearance right now.
Yeah! Slee, I have a favor to ask of you today. You ready?
Sure.
So, my glasses that we know have been damaged.
Yep.
My glasses.
The glue on one of the sides that I'm using to hold it together is no longer holding it together. The right lens of this glass will fall out at some point during the show today. I can almost guarantee it's rattling in its frame as I'm moving it around. So remember I told you last time it fell out and landed in my salad?
Yes.
So if you see it fall out, keep an eye on it. Like a foul ball, like a errant drive on a golf course, make a mental note of where it enters the bushes.
Why were your glasses hurt again? Just tell us to people who don't know.
The details of the why are not nearly as important.
Susan told him to stop looking at his phone, and then
that was my fault.
God answered.
Yes.
With whatever he answered.
Yes.
You got a
the
face
gods.
full of volleyball.
A full face full. My scratch on my nose is finally healed. I still have a little bruise in here, but I don't know if you can hear it, but it's rattling around pretty good. It's going to fall out.
I got a question because we're on basically broken glasses.
Sure.
Okay. So I got sunglasses. I got some Ray-Bans maybe it's a long time ago. Let's say 6 months ago, something like that. Okay. And I got them. Macy's has you can buy them from Macy's, whatever. So I bought them over there.
Costco, too. Just FYI.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Costco's
Amazon?
got everything, bro.
Yeah.
Samples.
Costco,
and Ray-Bans.
Costco has Ray-Bans and good ones.
I'm not questioning you. I'm not challenging you. None of that.
No, I'm just trying to help you that if you're near a Costco, and by the way, they replace them, too, with something.
Okay, this is where I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Okay. I had something happen. So hold up your glasses here for a quick second. Okay. It's not even... the area where it folds. It didn't break there.
At the stem? At the hinge?
It didn't break there. It broke actually a little bit higher up.
Like here?
Yes.
Okay, that's weird.
Very weird. And it didn't even break.
That's defective.
It didn't even break like a snap, something happened. It just literally, I don't know what happened. I don't know. It was
broke.
Just came off, basically.
Okay.
Can I sell Macy's on a new pair? Because listen, back in the day,
how long ago did you buy them?
About 6 months ago. That's a long time. Back in the day, let me tell you,
I'd give it a shot.
Let me tell you, there was a old school Slee. I'm calling the next day and I'm almost enjoying it. Like I'm having a conversation and we're going back and forth, and then eventually I feel like they're going to cave in. I'm going to get my sunglasses.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Were these a $20 pair of sunglasses?
No.
Stop me when I hit the number. 40?
No.
50?
200.
100?
Yeah, 200 plus.
Okay,
Ray-Bans.
so okay.
Not plus, but they're
About
probably about like 150-ish.
Oh yeah, that's expensive. There. You gotta at least shoot your shot.
6 months and you got the manufacturer warranty.
And if it just broke in a weird place
Weird
like
spot.
that, yeah. Now they may go,
They've
look,
been sitting
these
there
are
for 2 weeks broken. I haven't done anything.
Does it look like you sat on them or maybe something like that? Like, does it look like maybe it was user error or just a faulty product?
So if I had a specific instance where something like that happened, I would tell you I didn't.
No, I trust you. I just don't know if the guy at the sunglass counter is going to.
Well, and the only reason why I'm saying it that way is because maybe they did break something like that, but I have a legitimate case of it's not one of those where it just snapped. By the way, even if it just snapped, I would tell them that it snapped. It didn't.
Well, look, you might get the guy that doesn't give a damn.
Do you know what sunglasses I'm using right now? I'll tell you exactly which ones.
Gas station ones?
No. I'm using the sunglasses when we were at Islands, Corona throughout sunglasses.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm wearing all
Great.
the time now.
There you go.
Michelle's like, what are you, on spring break? I'm like, no, I don't have sunglasses.
Especially if you're not looking to get money, you just want to replace them. I would bet, I don't know for sure, but I would bet somebody will, because look, you're not taking money out of the guy at the sunglass counter's pocket. He's like, I'll replace him for you. What do I care? Right? It's not the guy that's going to dig in on the store rules. Pretty few and far between.
I feel like you're freaking motivating me right now.
What's the worst that could happen? I'm sorry, you bought these 6 months ago. It's just they have a 30-day warranty, whatever it is. All right, no
By
harm,
the
no
way-
foul. Then you buy a new pair. But what if they go? Yeah,
No, I'm
pick
done
out a
buying
new
a pair.
pick out a new pair.
If I don't get these comped or like some kind
Placed.
of I think I'm done buying. I don't want to buy sunglasses anymore that are more than like $40. I've lost too many pairs and too many have broke. That I just don't want to get in that game anymore. Every 3 months or 6 months, something's happening.
Well, if you don't want to
think
ever
I'm done.
lose another pair, buy a pair of $25 sunglasses from the gas station or cheapies, and you will never lose them ever again. You'll be 75 wearing those same sunglasses.
You
around
take care
town.
of more of those cheaper ones than you do the expensive ones. when
No,
you buy them
I
like
think it's
that.
one of those.
No,
You
it's
don't.
'cause
I don't know why.
care.
You just
Exactly.
toss
and then
them.
they're always there.
They're always there. They're always there.
Do you
Give it a
guys?
shot.
By the way, did any of you ever? I don't know what happened here. I used to definitely be that guy. If like I had to call Cox Communications because the bill went up by $10, something like that, or my mom would call me and say, "Hey, State Farm, this happened," something like that. I would call and I'd get it done all the time, and I
Yeah.
actually didn't even mind the calls. I don't want to do any of that anymore.
You make more money now. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're like, $10 extra.
you
Okay,
make more
cool.
money
but
now.
it was more like the challenge of it.
I get it, and that's a part of it. But now you're like, do I really want a 20-minute
No, I don't.
telephone conversation
And
for
then-
$10?
And then
that's
I'm
what
trying
it is.
to beat the prompts by hitting pound, and that doesn't work. So then they just take me to the
Representative,
beginning.
representative.
Listen,
Oh my god!
I just did it with the internet company, right? So the bill went up $20.
Yeah.
It went from $20 up, and then I called the
Or
place.
they give you the promotion.
No, well, that's exactly why I called. I was like, wait a minute, you guys have a rate right now that for whatever megabits you get, you pay $50 or $40. How come I'm paying double that, or like it went up?
Yeah.
So the guy's like, oh, let me look into it. It is a promotion for new customers. I'm like, okay, well then cancel my thing and let me
re-sign up.
And they're like, oh, we can't do that because you have an account, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, that's fine. He's like, but can I offer you the phone service? I was like, bro, I'm calling you to comp me.
This guy's
for
trying
my...
to upsell.
Yeah. He's like, can I offer my phone service? I was
There
like,
must be an incredible incentive for them to try to get you onto something else because the audacity it would take to say, that cool price you saw on TV, you can't have it just because we've already put the hook in your lip and you can't get off the hook. But while you're here, can I sell you something else? They must get a huge chunk of whatever it is they sell. Otherwise, it'd be like, yeah, man, I'm sorry, that really sucks. Is there anything else I
Not
can do for
reading
you?
the room here.
Right.
Like I came to spend less. You're trying to upsell.
I want to lower my bill, not get an extra. What am I going to do with an extra phone? And he's like, cancel your other line. I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah,
man?
that's insane.
Yeah,
That's insane.
I have less patience to do all that stuff.
And it's not going to make or break your day.
Look, you did it with
That's a big part of it.
Spirit Airlines. Go do it with Macy's.
All right, I'm in. No,
You should give it a shot.
The
There's no
fact that
downside.
I brought it up here, now I'm motivated to go make it happen.
Tweet
at
at them and say,
Macy's.
do better. At Ray-Bans.
Did that ever
Do better.
bear any fruit, Em?
No, I flew on a different airline to get to Denver. So, no, fruit was not born.
By the way, roars to you this morning. You seem like you got a little bounce in your step this morning.
Yes, I achieved quite possibly the high of my entire life last night.
Go on.
My trivia team finally won, guys.
Órale.
We finally won. We had to bring in some ringers. So my friend Miranda decided to bring some of her friends from work, life, whatever.
It's like NIL here.
So one of the aspects of this trivia is each round, it's questions, but then they'll play a song and you have to name the artist and the year that the song came out.
No shot.
Yeah. So usually, and they give you points if you're within 2 years of when the year comes out. So anyway, it's a lot of 70s and 80s, and so a lot of time, I know you'd probably do really good on this.
Well.
So sometimes we'll be around there sounds like this, and a lot of times it's also a clue for one of the questions. Anyway,
Okay.
so one of the friends that was the ringer, she's a music supervisor for movies and television.
Cleaning house.
So it was a great little extra 3 or so points
There
over
you
there.
go.
And you know what I won it on? I won it on my O.J. Simpson knowledge.
There you go. Look.
I won it on my special interest is O.J. Simpson.
The OJ case is the gift that keeps on giving. It is endlessly fascinating and appalling and riveting, and apparently can win you a pitcher of beer? Is that what it is?
It's $50. So it's maybe two
pitchers of beer.
So what's funny too is when I sat down, I was one of the first people there for trivia because I got there kind of early because I didn't know what the traffic was. So
you were warming up, you were stretching.
Yeah, I was Googling furiously things that might come up.
She's trying to memorize Google before the
People
trivia.
are walking by. What is she doing?
One thing I do look up is birthdays, celebrity birthdays, which I do for a show, but I look up a bunch because that's typically a lot of the questions have to do with celebrity birthdays. Anyway, so I sit down and I have my beer, and one of the guys that works at Breden's, which is where I go for trivia, and he comes over and he's like, "Hey, you're the first person for trivia, means that you're going to come in first." And that's like, ha, we always come in third. And then right when we won, he's like, "I told you." And I was like, anyway, it was a great night. I was very happy.
Do you award yourself like a WWE championship belt, or do you do do something?
So they take a picture with you, and then they give you little tokens, and then we get posted on their Instagram. And so that's where
very nice.
And then I stayed up to watch the Survivor episode. It was I'm running on very little sleep, but a lot of adrenaline.
What's their Instagram? I want to see this picture.
Head Games Trivia. I don't know if they even posted it yet.
Okay, well,
So-
we'll have to find
How about
out.
Arsenal though? Your team.
Oh, get out of here. We
what
were
happened?
trying to
What
have
happened?
a win yesterday. They just lost to Bayern Munich. They're out of the Champions League.
1-0.
And so my friend who's also on my trivia team is the ones who got me to be Arsenal fans. So they were in a poopy mood. And so then we were like, let's just make sure.
You redeemed yourselves.
Let's make sure we have a good night tonight. We had a good night last night. And we had thank you to the ringers that were brought in. And maybe they'll be a part of the team going forward.
Did you just know the OJ stuff just right off the top of your head? Like, you didn't even have to consider it?
One, they said, like, this topic. So the round is you nominate one person from your team to come up, and it's
Do you
kind
know
of
the
like
topic before you pick the person?
yes.
Okay.
So and it's kind of like you stay. It's kind of like you're betting on yourself. So first round, you can either take the points and sit down, or you can keep going.
Yeah.
And I knew once they said O.J. Simpson, I'm like, oh, I'm going. And.
yeah.
She looked like O.J. Simpson running up to the stage. She's hopping over tables and knocking fools out of the way.
So there was three questions that supposedly got progressively harder as they got on. So the first question was, what is the car that was used in the race in the car chase?
Eclipse.
Yeah, of course.
Totality.
Right, of course.
Eclipse.
So obviously, Ford Bronco.
Sure.
White Ford Bronco, to be specific. They didn't give you extra points for saying that. And then the next round was, what was interrupted during the car chase?
Everything.
The broadcast. But they specifically looking for the
Life in
NBA
LA.
Finals, and they said they'd give you a bonus point if you had the matchup, and so I got both of those right. And then the last one was how many number of people watched the car chase, the police chase, and it was 95 million. No, it was 92 million.
I think it's 92,
And then
yeah.
if you got within the closest person to that got it, and I said 95 million, and so
That's really close.
we got it. So shouts out to us.
No, she
Judge Ito
was
over
ready to
here.
go.
And our team name is We Out Pizza the Hut. No offense to Pizza Hut. We are attempting to out Pizza the Hut.
I now have an idea that I will float to you coming up here in just a little bit, but we'll see. I think it's going to work out.
Also, a big night for me tonight.
What do you got?
A new Taylor Swift album.
Another one?
It's coming out tonight
I feel like she has
at 9 p.m.
How many
the
songs
pre-sale?
does she have in
6
her?
weeks.
She's
She's got
prolific.
a billion songs. Yes.
She's prolific.
It's great.
Will there be a
time.
Travis Kelce song on this album?
We don't know. She supposedly
You're
wrote
like
this before.
the T Swizzle whisperer. You should know these things.
I don't know the lyrics
Is
yet.
she pretty good at keeping everything under wrap?
What do you mean?
Like,
Are there any leaks?
yeah. Are
So there are
any
quote
info
unquote
on what's
AI
coming out?
leaks. I think Cody played one a couple weeks ago. There are quote unquote AI leaks that aren't actually the leaks of the songs that people are circulating. But she's been having this pop up at the Grove where you can go take pictures, but there's like Easter eggs.
Take pictures of what?
At the pop up. So it's
But
like
what's in the pop up? I guess.
So it's like books and like
Merch.
Not merch, but it's like books, statues. But like if you look at it closely, there's Easter eggs for what's going to be in the album.
Any Travis Kelce jerseys hanging on the wall?
No Travis Kelce jerseys. I think this one is mostly about her two most recent ex-boyfriends before. So
There's a surprise.
yeah, exactly. Totally shocking that she writes about her love life.
How long does it take you to memorize some of these song lyrics?
Depends on the song.
Okay.
I think that it depends on like the hook and everything, but usually I try to like tonight I'll listen to fully one time through.
When does it get released?
9 p.m. tonight. It's an hour and 1 second long. No, hour 1 minute long.
The whole album.
Yes. So
That's not so
Is that on
bad.
purpose, right?
Sorry?
Hour and 1 minute on purpose?
I'm sure
maybe,
there's a reason,
probably.
Jorge.
Yeah.
And there's supposedly an announcement coming out in 45 minutes because there's a countdown clock on her website.
Oh, there goes Em.
So who knows, guys?
be
Who
gone at
knows?
11.
So
Long gone.
if you hate Taylor Swift, don't listen tomorrow.
All right, so Lakers and Nuggets Saturday. I got a question for you. No one's asked that. I haven't heard anybody ask this that I think is pretty interesting. What if they win?
Okay.
What happens after that? That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. And for the ones who get it done, Grainger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
The most on 710 ESPN.
So we got Rabbit Hole coming up later on in the program at 12:30. 12:30. I have a good one.
Copied Emily.
I'm excited to tell you guys about this one because I think I feel vindicated, but I'm not quite sure. So I want to share that with you guys. That's coming up at 12:30. Hey, did you see? Coming up in about 20 minutes from right now, 25 minutes. And we got our draft coming up at noon.
Yes.
Noon. What are we drafting today?
We are drafting hosts because it is Conan O'Brien's birthday, one of me and Sliwa's favorite hosts of late night. And so we thought all hosts are on the table. A movie that's called Host, a host of a reality show, a host of late night show, anything.
So
Podcast,
I can take
radio, everything.
I can take the monkey from Outbreak.
Sure. I would
because he
count
was the
monkey-
host of the Mutaba virus,
Yeah.
which wiped out, basically all of San Francisco in that movie.
I would take that. I would take
him
the
early.
You could take Steve Mason. You could take Jim Rome. Who knows?
Nah. Keep going. I don't want either one of those.
Any of the gyms out there.
All
Jimmy,
right.
Jim, James.
Yeah, I like Jimmy Kimmel. But Jimmy Kimmel will be
You
on
could take,
the list for sure.
I don't know, Johnny Carson because
I do like Johnny Carson.
you grew up watching him go to bed. Like I went to bed every day.
I don't like your insinuation. However, I did enjoy watching Johnny Carson when he was the host of the Tonight Show. He was very good at
So
it.
if there's hosts that you think that
Jack
we should draft,
Parr.
let us know. Yeah, exactly.
Jack Benny, I think, was another one that did
Ed
it
Sullivan.
a million years ago. Okay, I'm not old enough to know Ed Sullivan, but I've seen the Ed Sullivan show, like clips of it and think, were the 50s and 60s that bad? Like that past is like stuff that people watched? Really?
They had very little to watch.
I get, but all the more reason that whoever was on should have
Could be
been
good.
really good. You could pick from literally anybody.
They didn't know any better. I think that's the whole thing.
And now, the Beatles.
Exactly.
Magic's probably going to go early, right? Magic's going real early in this one.
And again, with sports wise, you could take someone who's the host of a studio show. So if you really like someone who's the host of the studio show,
That's good.
That's on there too.
Do you remember Howard Stern going on Magic Johnson's talk show?
No.
And just obliterating him on his own show? It was unbelievable.
Oh, I'll have to watch that. No, I have not seen that. I've never seen that.
It was something. And I don't know if the show lasted another week or two. It was like, yeah, it's probably time to pull the plug on this.
Probably don't invite Howard. Next
Howard
time.
knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
Howard knows what he's doing. All right, so Lakers and Nuggets on Saturday.
Yep.
2-7. Lakers, earned the number 7 spot. I think it's probably the right way. And I get it. It's a bad draw. They haven't beat them at all this year. They got swept in the playoffs last year, 4 in a row. It's not great. It's not the matchup you're looking for, so to speak. But I don't think it's a zero chance that they win this series, right? I don't think it's likely. We both kind of came to this number independently. You said about a 15% chance. I said 1 in 5, which is 20%. Yeah. So we're close. We're getting a shot. Not a great shot, but a shot. Play this out with me. What if they win? What if, that for 4 nights, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, D'Angelo Russell, and the entire cast of
Just
characters.
got to go 4-3.
Just go
4-3 over 7 games.
Off. Maybe Darvin misses the bus and everything works out. Right? They coach themselves on any given night. Maybe something weird happens to put them. You can laugh at that. That's funny. It's okay.
No, it is fun. It is fun.
It's okay.
Just got to get 4 of them.
Yeah. So he misses the bus, or they lock him out, or whatever happens, and they coach themselves. They win the series. What has to happen after that? Do you have to win the whole thing? Like, is that open up the entire road for, okay, you just took out the biggest, baddest guy. You are playing great basketball. You did find a way to do the thing that nobody thought you're doing. If they turned around and in the next round played Minnesota and got clipped, is it all for naught? Is it just like, oh, what a disaster? Or just merely beating the team that I know they're not the number 1 seed, but they're the best team. They're the defending champ. Does just beating them make it successful?
So it kind of takes me back to last year. Last year, I think you got that free pass of you made it to the Western Conference Finals. Okay, you lost to the team that eventually won the entire thing. And listen, I don't want to say it's okay, but you know what? We weren't expecting them to go that far.
Agreed.
If you face the Nuggets in the first round, and you take Denver out however you do it. It doesn't matter how it happens. It doesn't matter if everyone's healthy, if they're not. It actually really doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. If you beat, well, I guess maybe health would have something to do with it. Let's just say they beat them.
Yeah, they advance. They're through it.
Yep. I think now, if everyone is favoring the Denver Nuggets to get to the NBA Finals, if everyone is favoring Denver to be up against the Boston Celtics, and you got that far, I don't think the taste in your mouth is gonna change if you beat Denver and then lost to Minnesota in the next round.
I don't think so either.
Or you beat Denver and then beat Minnesota, but then lost to the Mavs in the Western Conference Finals. I think if you beat Denver,
you got to punch their ticket.
The expectation is at the absolute worst, you're back in the NBA Finals.
And even then, right? And maybe it's the Celtics. It's certainly seeming like it's headed that way, the Jimmy Butler down and everything. But anyway, it just feels like the Celtics are inevitable, at least as far as coming out of the East goes. Even then, it's like, look, it's your last great chance to get this thing done. And again, this presupposes them beating Denver. You'd still have to beat 2 more Western Conference teams. You'd still have to beat the Eastern champ.
Beat Denver,
but you've cleared the highest hurdle at that point. Mm-hmm. Now it's stupid cliche, but it's kind of a downhill ride from that point, or at least it's a flat ride. It's not going to get any harder than that. And the disappointment of, hey, listen, the guy that was supposed to knock us out, we took them out. It changes everything. It's not like, hey, man, okay, this is found money.
No,
Last
I
year,
agree.
Once you beat Memphis, kind of found money. Certainly once you beat Golden State, it's like, we were never supposed to be where we are right now. Let's see what happens against them. And they got swept. It's like, that was a pretty good year. Not like the Lakers. Look, we talked about the other day.
I'm with you. Pretty good year. That's how I honestly feel. I thought last year was a pretty good year.
It was a pretty good year. Not what the Lakers want, but it's a pretty good year. It'd be hard to think, oh, we didn't get where we're supposed to go, especially the way that the year started.
Yep.
This feels like they finally are playing the right guys in the right order at the right time. They're winning. I mean, simply put, they're winning.
They're 19-6 with the starting lineup. 3 of those games, AD left early.
Take out the number one team, even though they're not the number one team, the best team, the defending champ. I don't know how anything at that point beyond punching your ticket is considered successful. As weird as it sounds, your hardest matchup is starting on Saturday.
The funniest conversation of it is, until you brought it up, I never really thought past Denver.
Well, it's a big ask.
I don't even, to be honest with you, I'm not even thinking past, like, they play Saturday and Monday. I can't think past even those 2 games. I know you and I were talking a little bit about this yesterday. If you're down 0-2,
that's it.
Coming back to crypto, you're not winning 4 or 5 against Denver. That's not happening.
That's it.
Okay? If you're 1-1, coming back on Thursday, you got that game Saturday and Monday. I have, the way you're describing, let's just say you beat them. My head hasn't gotten there.
Yeah.
And it's partially because I just know how good Denver is. And you're looking at these first 2 games. Can you walk away 1-1 after these first 2 games? If you actually beat the Denver Nuggets and you put them in your rearview mirror, and now all of a sudden you're looking at, it almost doesn't even matter who the next opponent is. If you took out the big bad wolf, aren't you supposed to then just
that's
handle
what I mean.
business?
The most challenging opponent that you're going to face. Look, I know that it's weird. It's sports. Stuff happens. They beat the Celtics in Boston without their 2 best players. I'm not saying that that's an indicator but they can beat the Celtics. They haven't beaten the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. In their last 8 attempts, they haven't gotten it done. They can beat the Celtics.
Do you think if they beat Denver, Taurean Prince would go back in the starting lineup?
I know. Look, I mean, it took 50 games to take him out of the starting lineup, so who knows how many it would take to put him back in.
More data.
Let's try a phone call here. Let's go to Upland and Richard. Richard, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Thanks for the call. I'm excited about Denver. We have lost them 8 times in a row, but think about the way we lost this season. A few games we were up with a couple minutes left, and Jamal Murray just did what he does against the Lakers. Last year, we were in every single game in the playoffs. I mean, Jokic arguably played the best half. Jamal Murray scored 23 points. In the fourth quarter, we only lost by 3. So I don't think it's as much of a mismatch as a lot of people think. But if we do get past Denver, that's not enough. We got Denver. We got Phoenix. We got go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, you said it. If you get past Denver, I mean, your thought process got to be completely different. I mean, it's got to be completely different of whatever that was.
You know what else happens, too, if you beat Denver? Everyone, and Ireland's been saying this forever, and I'll be honest, I kind of roll my eyes when I hear it most of the time, but I think it becomes way more true in this scenario is nobody wants a piece of that after that. That the Lakers feeling really good about themselves. The only way that they're going to beat them is if LeBron and AD are awesome. LeBron and AD playing awesome. They have been, it's not like they got hot yesterday. They've been pretty good for about a month and change, and roll it in, beat the best team. That's one of those That is a real moment for the rest of the league.
Is it possible to say this moving forward? You know they're 0-8 in their last 8 games against Denver. They won 2 before that. Can we say they're 2-8 in their last 10?
I mean, you can say it however you want.
I don't know what they did the 10 before that. Because if I could start maybe averaging this out, we're getting a little closer.
Lifetime record.
We're starting to get a little bit closer to 500. Then now we're talking
Magic
coin flip in
Johnson
this series.
was dominating Alex English. That Kareem used to kick Dan Issel's butt back in the day. So
what was the record when Carmelo was there?
Right. Exactly
I think
right.
more of an average.
All right. And, oh, by the way, there's something else on the table for not just the Lakers, but for LeBron James in particular, if in fact they could pull off that upset. That's coming up. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. And you don't have to pull off an upset. You just got to pick more or less, Lee. That's Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the daily fantasy sports app that's leading North America. Over 3 million users, and it's because it's easy, and it's because you can win. You pick between 2 and 6 players. You decide more or less. Shohei Ohtani going to get more or less than a hit and a half tonight. Is Mookie Betts going to have more than a hit and a half tonight? That's Prize Picks. More, less, pick between 2 to 6 players, and you can win big.
All right, NBA right now, we're right in the thick of the play-in tournament. You got the Sacramento Kings taking on the Pelicans. That's coming up on Friday. Obviously, the Miami Heat is going to be going up against the Chicago Bulls. So you still got all these games. And then starting Saturday, the NBA playoffs start. It's fun. It's easy. It keeps the games entertaining. You can watch games that aren't even associated with your specific team. Just download the app today. Takes about 60 seconds to submit your entry. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code 710 on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
It's a battle of East versus West.
710 ESPN.
So what's the strategy, Em, when Taylor Swift's new album comes out tonight? Do you listen to it from track
Are we
one
all
through the
listening
end?
together, or how are we doing this? We're going to get our Zoom?
Is there a Norteño bonus track?
Honestly, would be a great bit if you guys did listen to it, so that you guys can come back at me if I'm saying this is the best thing since sliced bread masterpiece.
Well, I
You're
lost
like,
my Pandora, so
let
I
me
don't
go
know where to
against
listen.
track 5. So my strategy is I'll be home at 9. I will likely, maybe, have a gummy just so I can experience it. I put on my noise-canceling headphones. I put my phone away, and I just listen to the music.
Okay,
I just listen to the music one time through. I will not stop anything. I listen to it in order. Try to see what kind of stories he's trying to tell through the entire album. So that's the first time through. Next time through after that.
This is no skipping, no
nothing. No
just
skipping.
all the way through.
Just kind of see the first vibe. Second viewing or second listening is probably going to be the next day, and that's where
that was my next question. You wait to kind of take it all in, and then you don't run it back from the top all over again.
Probably not.
Okay.
And then the next day is when I kind of try to like, okay, who is she talking about here? What is a specific lyric choice here? Like, why do I like this? I get more specific on the second time through. So by the time you guys see me at 10 a.m. tomorrow, it's probably going to be 2.5 times through, if not 3 times through.
3?
It's only an hour. So it's only an hour.
But
3 hours of time.
So you'll have it twice tomorrow morning?
Probably.
Wow.
It'll probably be the entirety of what I listen to from when I wake up in the morning until I start our prep at 9. So, yeah.
How many songs would you have memorized by that time?
Probably none.
Okay.
Again, it depends on how catchy it is.
All right.
So there's some. Oh wait, I have an idea for a game we can play later in the show. I actually gave it away to Greg maybe a month ago, but I'm assuming you guys probably didn't play that game, so we'll play it later.
All right. Not Last Man Standing?
No,
Not
Last Man Standing.
1 hour and 1 minute.
Yeah, that's. I don't know. That
Yeah.
feels
But
specific.
I will probably have tweets and my first reactions. I'll probably say, hey, first reactions, here's the songs I like, here's the songs I don't like. So if you are a Swiftie,
What's the
follow
ratio?
along.
Let's just, for the sake of round numbers, let's say there's 15 tracks
Mm-hmm.
on this album. Will you like 12 of them? 5 of them?
Probably, I'll probably have 2 or 3 favorites that I'm like instantly going to be in rotations of one I like. And I will probably like 12 of them, but like varying levels of first listen like.
How many will you hate?
Probably 2 or 3.
Okay.
And
that's
hate's
good.
a strong
Is there a
word.
theme?
Hate's the
I
right
probably
word.
won't go
Hating things
back.
is fun. We've
is
been
there
over
a
this.
theme to her songs that you don't like?
It's hard to put like a little pin in it.
Yeah.
It's an easier answer with songs I do like. She has 2 producers she mostly works with. Aaron Dessner of The National and Jack Antonoff of Bleachers and other things. He's the producer for me, all these pop girlies. If it's Aaron Dessner on it, I will immediately like it 100,000% because his lyricism hits me more than what she does with Jack. So Folklore Evermore was more of a Aaron Dessner joint
Can't
than it
stand
was
Jack.
a Jack Antonoff joint.
Freaking hate Jack.
Very surface. I mean, everybody knows that.
Exactly.
I was expecting a deeper cut from
Yeah, I'm
you.
just
I mean,
saying.
Anyway,
kinda
sorry
let me
guys.
down.
Stay tuned tomorrow.
Jack
Gates in
has
the house.
been very disappointing.
Kind of let me down. I thought we'd get some insight. I didn't think that we'd just have this very obvious, like, hey, who's
Jack's
good at baseball?
doing it again.
Shohei Ohtani's good at baseball. Great.
Yeah, I'm going in on Michael Bush right
Rude
now.
is
So
everything.
that's where this is.
No, you're going in on some junior college guy
Yeah.
that just hit a couple of home runs in a game. Yates is here.
What up, Yates?
Usually you're later in the day.
Yeah, I'm actually not doing television today. Momo and I are taping an episode of ESPN Daily.
Okay. What's the
and
topic?
also because there's certain things about my life where I'm a mega old man. One of which is getting my password changed, and I was like, I'm taking it to IT. I can't deal with the phone calls. I don't know my security questions. Case-sensitive stuff drives me nuts. I'm just giving it to my homie down there. Shouts to Arsenio, and I'm like, just change it. Please, fix it all for me. So,
What's your daily topic?
daily topic is we were talking about Donald Sterling.
Oh, well,
So
she's
as you
the
know,
right person to talk to.
She's the expert, but I don't know if you saw. Hold on. The big reveal here. Ta-da!
You got your Shockers lid.
For those who can't see, I'm wearing a Wichita State Shockers hat, a place where one Travis Rogers
Yeah.
has played baseball
multiple times.
I texted
Got
him
lit up all over the yard in
picture
Wichita.
from the yard, and he said, "Do they still have that goofy infield?
Do you remember
outfield
that thing?
Turf grass setup?" Yes.
Yeah.
I was sitting with the guy who was the pitching coach for Wichita State forever, and
Okay.
I asked him about it.
Yeah.
He was like, I was hoping you didn't bring that up."
Yeah. So they had this weird setup at Wichita State Stadium in Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah.
Where, and I forget which was which. I think the infield was turf and the outfield was grass.
Yes.
It might have been the other way.
That's
but
typically how they did it, and that's
Yeah.
what it was.
It's like, what the hell is
That's
this?
odd.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Either grow grass or don't.
It's a thing in a lot of colleges.
Take a pick.
Because and some are even more complicated.
playing
than that.
soccer in the outfield or
Some will
something?
have grass infield, turf dirt and turf outfield. Some will have.
So still to this day, that's how it is?
No, they've completely
Okay.
redone
I
it
was
with
gonna
all
say,
turf. But
what?
it's also that's not real dirt. You know what I mean? It's turf, brown turf is what it is.
PK Park up in Oregon, where the Ducks play, there's the only dirt on the field is on the pitcher's mound.
Yeah.
There's not a speck. All the cutouts, all the batter's box, it's all turf. They're only on the pitcher's mound.
Warning
'cause the
track,
only
Gazy.
dirt.
Warning
It's
track.
weird.
Bro,
thing
this
is
is what
fake.
college baseball is these days. You'd be surprised. Anyway, Wichita, shout out.
Did the dents still in the wall?
From when you were giving up blast.
You should sign like Travis Rogers.
It was
cool setup, though.
That was not a pitcher friendly place for your boy.
Well, they were also a powerhouse back then.
They're really
you
good.
know, so yeah, they went to the College World Series like 6 times in a row. In the
Do
90s.
you know
I think
that
Darren Dreifert was in the Jayhawk League the same
Darren
time I was through
Dreifert's
there.
father, Michael, was sitting right next to me
Was he really?
in the luxury box. We talked
I
for
think
like an
Darren
hour.
Dreifert was owner of one of those dents off of me.
Did you know that Taylor Swift's album comes out at 9 p.m. tonight?
So I saw a text from somebody who I would consider of your world, Emily, and it
Surface?
said, "I hope y'all aren't listening to those leaks." And I was like, I wonder who this is about. Were there leaks?
So there's AI leaks.
So
Yeah,
you didn't
they're
tell
not
them
real.
about this.
They're not
You
real.
didn't tell them about the leaks. Yeah, so I heard there were leaks, but I couldn't figure out who it was about. So
We'll
as soon
find
as I
out
walked
tonight
in,
if they're real.
and I heard her talking about a release tonight, I was like, oh, those must have been
Maybe the
Taylor.
entire release is AI. Did you ever think about that?
Honestly, could be. She's being innovative and she's just having an AI album.
The next stage in artistry
Yeah.
is to punt on your artistry and let a
and
computer
just let
do
somebody else do it. Right,
So
exactly.
it's so funny because she's kind of like punted on the marketing up until this week of this album. Most of the times, if you're releasing an album in a couple months, you're going to do press, you're going to do like ads, you're going to do everything leading up. Honestly, she did almost no advertising or promotion for this until this week, just to see if she could do it, and she's still going to charge.
This is known as the Beyonce playbook at this point. Which
Even Beyonce did Cowboy Carter a couple of months out.
That's true.
She bought Google Ads. That's
Yeah.
basically. Taylor Swift has a billboard next.
She's one of the few people / entities
gotta do
that
anything.
does not need to promote.
Right, and also all news about anybody she knows is also news about her to a certain extended way. So yeah, Jason Kelsey losing a ring in a vat of chili, that's Taylor Swift news as far as I'm concerned.
God, I love a good chili. All right, we got some phone calls coming up in a bit. If you're on hold, stay there. Want to get into what the Lakers beating the Nuggets in the first round does for LeBron specifically, but coming up next. Hey, did you see? Food. Coming up. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Steve Mason.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
Segment we do around this time, 10:40 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Hey, did you see that sky today?
Did you guys see that?
Basically, the days we don't do Ask Slee, we do this thing. It's called Hey, Did You See?
Did you see that? I thought I did it.
Did you see the memo about this?
I mean, I'm excited. You can tell by my read. Hey, did you see?
Oh, hey, did you happen to see?
It's time for Hey, Did You See?
Hey, man, did you touch my drum set?
Have you read this?
Right now on Travis and Sliwa.
Hey, did you see that Yates is hanging out with us as well still?
What
so
up,
he's going to
kiddos?
participate in
Thank you.
Hey, did you see? Foo, what do you got, Jorge?
All right, Fu. So last night I went out, I took my mom on a little date night.
Oh,
late night yesterday.
saw the on Twitter. That's awesome.
I took her to see her favorite artist, somebody she grew up watching and listening and, everything. Luis Miguel.
Nice.
We went out to see Luis Miguel concert. Iconic artist in the,
What venue?
Stable,
is
Crypto.
that Crypto?
Crypto.com.
Packed
Sold
house.
out. Sold out. Packed house. 20,000 people or possibly more. We had an incredible time. It's just one of those memories with my mom
awesome.
that
Amazing.
I'm never gonna forget that. So it got me thinking: what memories do you have with your parents? That is gonna. What unforgettable memory do you have with your parents? Like me, I did with my mom yesterday watching Luis Miguel, one of her favorite artists.
It's an easy one for me, and thankfully none of my kids are listening right now, so the other two will not feel left out. But I vividly remember telling my folks, excuse me, Susan and I telling my folks when she was pregnant for the first time. Oh. And the look on their face and how excited they were and how happy they were for Susan and I, because, you know what you're getting into at that point. Right. It's like, okay, you know what you signed up for, right? That this is a game changer forever.
Literally, yeah.
But it was, I remember exactly where we were sitting. I remember it was at lunch. I remember every single detail about it the first time we told them that Susan was pregnant.
Besides when I got to bring my dad in here into the television station to show him my job, there was a second moment where my dad came with me to Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice.
And he got to watch a couple Little League games with me, and that was sort of the closest me and him kind of ever were in our lives in terms of our day-to-day and what I was doing. So it reminded him of a different time as well in terms of watching the kids and see how they interacted with everything. And he just kind of liked the flow of the town and all that. It was just a really cool time, kind of a throwback to a different era. I've got one really cool picture out of it. But, yeah, that was very similar. Baseball, shocker, it's involved.
Absolutely.
I remember we were going to Hawaii like 10 years ago, something along those lines. And I was going because a good friend of mine was getting married. And I told my mom, who knew the family very well as well. We kind of all grew up together. They lived right down the street. So I told my mom, why don't you come? She'd never been to Hawaii, any of that. Knowing that I was telling my sisters to come as well. We're going to stay kind of in but my mom had no idea they were coming.
Your sisters were coming?
They had no idea.
That's cool.
So
That's cool.
Mastermind.
Yeah, it's literally. My nieces were all coming. Everybody was coming. And my mom were sitting there at like a coffee shop / ice cream, you get gelatos, whatever it is. And they just showed up. We're already in Hawaii, and she had no idea what the hell was going on. So, I know that's a great memory for her.
That's so sweet.
You would have been a TikTok star if you'd filmed that. These days. There's tons of those that I watch routinely on that.
Screwed
Rabbit
up.
hole. So mine is when my dad drove me out here. So it's not always the most lovely memories. My dad's had health issues, and I don't spend a lot of time with him because I'm here, and I've always kind of lived outside of Virginia. But he said he would drive me across the country, and we did, and we had to deal with me my car breaking down. But he was the point person. He took care of me so well, and just whatever you needed. He got me wine if I needed to drink at the hotel. He let me have the bed. He took the couch. He got me here. He dropped me off at my house. He explored my neighborhood for me. He was oh, here's this coffee place. Here's this pizza place you'll like. And I'm getting choked up thinking about it. But it was just a great way of him to take care of me. So
that's great.
Speaking of choking up, yesterday, me seeing with my mom, getting the selfies, I was just she's seen them before. But the fact that I got to take her,
it's that you took her. The artist is great,
yes,
and I'm sure she loved watching the performance. But it's that she was with you.
Now, let me tell you,
and you took her to something that you knew she would love. That's the feeling.
Let me take a page from Clinton's book. Check this out.
Bam!
I got the swag,
Reveal.
There you go.
Well done, sir.
We got this. Look at this.
Look at the T-shirt. It even matches the LAFC.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right,
always
so
is
let me
matched
set-
up.
let me
That's fantastic.
let me just set this up for you guys. So I called my mom yesterday. I'm like, hey mom, listen, what are you doing today at 8:00? She's like, oh, you kind of got me like in a pickle here because I have your brother's senior night. He plays high school baseball, so it's a senior night for him in his high school. And the game's at 3, so I should be out by 5:36, depending on how fast the game goes. And I said, okay, do you have plans for 8:00? She's like, as of now, no. Maybe take this guy to a pizza party with his teammates, whatever. And I said, because I was thinking of taking you somewhere at 8:00. And then she's like, well, where were you going to take me? I said, downtown LA. Maybe we can, go catch something in downtown LA. She's like, but I need to know what. Am I dressed appropriately for this? I'm like, because I'm coming out of a baseball game, dude.
Right.
And then I said, it doesn't matter. Just, whatever you're wearing, meet me at my place and we'll drive from here. She shows up in nothing but baseball gear, baseball mom, high school gear, right? Tennis shoes and stuff like that.
She's
and
like, you didn't tell me. I'm coming.
So then she's like, where are we going? I was like, we're going to Luis Miguel. She's like, dude, you should have told me. I could have stopped by Macy's or something.
I would have popped an outfit.
But it was fun. Now, my other question is, somebody from the station, I don't want to throw them under the bus and tell you who it is, but I just want to. Yeah, no, it's not Mason. Even though there was a guy in front of us who looked just like Mason.
Oh, really?
Gray hair, glasses, watch. I'm like, I even took a picture. I'll post it later. I thought it was Mason. But maybe this person who was sitting in our section was in a different section throughout the concert. But if the concert starts at 8:00, why are you pulling up to your seats at 9:15? 9:20.
Is there an opener?
Yeah.
There was no opener.
Okay.
Did they know that?
How
There's
long?
an hour late to Luis Miguel.
Is it possible that they were in another part of
That's
the
what that-
arena
hopefully-
and only got to their actual seats?
Hopefully that was the
I pulled
case.
that move. You get
Hopefully-
invited into the box.
Right.
You're like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll get to the seat whenever I get to the seat kind of thing.
Hopefully that was the case. But if you're taking your mom or like somebody like
Yeah.
that to share, you don't show up late, do you?
No.
You don't show up late, but I will say this. I think maybe it's a very casual event to them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not something that was. I mean, I'm still trying to come. I'm coming at 8:30. I'm not coming at 9:15. But there are times. I'll give you an example. You got tickets to a baseball game, and you're like, you know what? Do I want to go? Am I going? You show up in the 3rd inning. All right, the world's not going to end.
Right.
But this is basically the equivalent of showing up in the 6th inning.
I can't. What you just described, and it's not because it's baseball. I can't show up late to things.
Yeah,
I can't.
It's
you
a different
telling
mindset.
that story is creating anxiety for me.
Airport. You love airport
I cannot,
with Susan.
If it starts at 7, I need to be there at 6:45 in my seat, ready to go. Like there's no good reason for it. I'll just show up in the 3rd inning because but it starts in the 1st inning.
Well, some
you
people
need to be there for that.
I believe Scott Kaplan's the one who shows up in the 4th and leaves in the 9th, as opposed to some people who show up for batting practice and leave in the 4th. That's what I do these days.
Yeah.
I will show up early and leave early rather than show up late and leave late.
My anxiety level was it's 6:45. Mom, where are you?
Yeah.
Yes.
7. Are you close by? 7:05. She's like, I just pulled up. I was like, okay, cool.
Okay,
So
we're gonna make
7:30.
it.
We left. I was like, oh, we made it. Because somebody told me he opens up at 8:30, 8:40. So
Yeah, you got an inside guy. You know when the set list is.
It's my problem, but it's a problem. I just can't do it. All right. Lakers and Nuggets on Saturday. We're going to do a little hypothetical that if they win, then what? In particular for LeBron James. That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
Yates in the house.
Heard you were in
joining
my
us.
hood last night. Thank you.
Yeah.
Heard you were in my hood last night, Em.
She won in your hood last night.
She's
taking
not
down
messing
titles.
So where Emily plays trivia is my local.
Okay.
So we know a lot of the same people. So when I go, I'm going to ask them if they remember gassing you up after you guys got your first victory. Was there confetti? Was there a Duke's Mayo Bowl situation?
Well,
Did we have a
somebody
celebration
said to
of
her
Gatorade?
because she was first there
Yeah.
that she's going to end up first in trivia, and he got very excited.
And he
that she
came
ended
over
up.
and dapped me up afterwards, and I was like, "Yes, you guys finally
Was it
did
the
it."
super tall guy or the
You
less
don't
tall
miss,
guy?
do you?
Super tall guy, not Justin,
The
but
super tall guy.
yes,
Okay,
yeah,
You're,
yeah.
you're
That guy's
there
name
every
is-
week,
yes,
aren't
that
you?
guy's-
We're there every week.
He's my
We're
homie.
in the same spot every week. We have been going there almost 2 years now.
She's
and
basically the Austin Reeves of
Watch
this year.
Watch
Never
this
missed a
transition.
game.
Watch this transition here. The super tall guy, does he or does he not look like Anthony Davis?
Oh,
Have you seen him?
with more hair on top.
Yes, exactly right. He does. It's not him.
Got AD in the
I
bar.
almost got myself fired.
It's not. It's not him. But that's who he looks like. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You right, Trav?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
And not only did I win, I got the
have an idea
gift
of,
card
I
and
think,
I got
where
some
you
beer
were
tokens too. So
Beer
it's great.
tokens.
Beer
Yeah,
tokens.
exactly.
What is? How
Even
does
better.
that?
Well, I submit my token instead of just little like I won one extra beer round or whatever
Sure.
for naming this artist, and yeah, I got an extra beer. But I
Yeah.
had already finished drinking for the night. I had my 2 beers, and so I'm going to do it the next time I go.
Can you counterfeit said tokens? Again, like you create your own, like
They are hard to manufacture.
I got a guy.
It's in my wallet right
You don't
now,
need to
so
do that.
I
If
can
you
show
come to
you
Brennan's
guys.
with me, you won't need any tokens at all. It'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Jorge, I got a guy.
he's got a guy for everything.
Smart
Lakers.
check.
How much? 200? Is it always 200?
250
Again,
nowadays.
expensive smog check for 200.
If it doesn't pass,
Oh, it's gonna pass.
well, it's going to pass. But if it can't
Can I
pass
ask a
somewhere else,
question?
200's a steal.
Have any of us ever failed a smog check?
Yeah.
You have?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, what was the response upon failure? Because I failed
to.
it upon the first try, but the second try was successful.
After the wheels were greased.
So this was
Familiar with that play. I'm sorry, what? How much? Did it
Probably like
fail by?
8 years ago, something like that. And the car that I had about 200 and let's call it 25,000 miles, something like that.
Okay.
And I was taking this thing to the end. We were going to the end.
Yeah.
It's a good car. Lexus is, they go forever, right? So I remember going to a smog check place, and the initial one that I went to, they're like, yeah, it failed. So then I started doing a little bit more research.
Did you
Then
just
I'm
drove away?
Yes.
Okay.
I drove away. Here was the problem. Here was the problem with it getting. I was already having so many issues with the car. So the question was, am I keeping the car or am I not?
Yeah.
Like, is it time to just get a different car? And then I eventually ended up at another smog check place thinking, hey, is something going to change? It's going to be different, any of that? Then there was kind of like an interesting
Failed again.
It failed again.
Okay.
Then there was like an interesting negotiation going on. I'm like, let's just let's go ahead and just get the car repaired, fixed, and then get approved for a
My
smog check.
old strategy for this was always to bring someone along who, let's just say, was involved in a Sidney Sweeney type of situation, presentation-wise.
All right.
This would always help when you're dealing with these types of individuals, at least back in D.C. in the DMV days, Everyone's like, oh, okay, hello, welcome.
Yeah.
You're getting through just fine.
Virginia's inspection is very intense. So
Yeah.
a lot of times you would fail inspections in Virginia because it's the whole car. It's not just smog. They test
Yeah.
everything
This
in your
is what I'm
car.
referring to,
And
right.
you can have just small things and you fail your inspection and you have to go back again and it takes a long time. It's a pain in the neck.
I think I may know your guy because he does it in the back of the car wash by himself, and it's just like, yeah, we're good. Like, yeah, but the light's on. I can turn the light off. Just turn it on, and we'll
He just took the battery out of the light. He's like, we're good.
Yeah, you had to clear the codes before. You
Right.
could clear the codes and you would pass it.
That's it.
But the code for mine was the gas cap. So I replaced it and
But the
passed
second
it.
you start to drive the car again, it comes back on. So
Yeah,
you
but-
have like
You
a
guys
you
are
have like a
giving away way too
10
much.
mile
Here.
little.
I'm not a part of
sweet
this.
spot. Like,
I did not do any of this.
But that
Your
was before.
Honor.
That was
I heard about it online.
The old online rumor.
A friend told me.
That's right.
Switcheroo.
That's right. All right, so let's play this out. And let me ask you this. I don't know
Yeah.
if you heard us talk about this. Give me how many times out of how many times do the Lakers beat the Nuggets in this series? Like, for instance, Al said about 15%. I said I'm about 20. What do you think it is?
I think the Nuggets believe if they lose a game, they've messed up. They've lost, 8 straight to the Nuggets?
Their Lakers are 2-8 in their last 10.
And here's why.
0-8 in their last 8.
Here's the thing, and I think a lot of Lakers fans, this is hard to manage because once you get into the championship bust mindset, that throws all things out. Lakers are a better team this year. The entire West is better this year.
Yeah.
This loss, oddly enough, perhaps in the first round, does not indicate a worse season than last year. Personal opinion in terms of actual development of the team.
That is a very nuanced, and I'm not saying it's not accurate, but that takes a little bit of perspective and some nuance. If they played this series 10 times, the series, not a game, the series, do the Lakers win it once?
I think, yeah.
Okay, so
the Lakers might win it twice.
Okay,
and
there you go.
But that's the progress I'm referring to.
But I guess what I'm getting at is this. I don't think the Lakers are going to win, but I also don't give them no shot at winning. I think that with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, if D'Lo makes shots, if all of the things break the way that they need to break,
they got to play
4 out of 7 times.
Perfect basketball 4 times.
They got to be really, really, really good 4 times in 7 games. I don't think that's impossible. I think it's hard because the other guys are really good too. That being said, let's assume they win. Where does this rank? Because it's weird to think this is a first-round 2-7 matchup. LeBron James is a multiple-time champion, multiple-time MVP, all-time leading scorer. I'm not going to recite his resume. But oddly, in your 21st season, with a 7th-seeded team, going up against maybe not the number 1 seed, but the defending champion who many believe is the best team, to clip them has to be at least on the first page of his resume, doesn't it?
Oh, we're in legacy talk now. Okay.
It's a real accomplishment for a guy that's accomplished virtually everything there is to accomplish, Al. This does not feel like, okay, you won a first-round series, big deal. It's much more meaningful than that for him on this team.
I think it's much more meaningful. However, if you lose in the next round, I don't know how much we're going to remember it.
I think that matters a great deal. That what happens next matters.
If you got to the finals...
What if they run it out a little bit? And maybe it's the finals, maybe.
Okay, and
but
even if you lost
a run.
Hypothetically, even if you let's play that out. You got to the finals. You lost to the Boston Celtics.
You beat the Clippers on the way.
Ooh.
Maybe you beat the Clippers on the way.
That'd be fun.
But
just saying.
And I'm not telling you that Laker fans are going to feel great about getting to the finals and losing to the Boston Celtics. But the accomplishment of you took down Denver, you took out a couple other teams. He's 39 years old. He's still kind of doing what he's doing. You're back in the NBA Finals. Boston's knocking on the door for years.
Sure.
They haven't been able to cash one.
Sure.
It's not like they don't have a good team. They
Boston's
got a great
been
team.
in the house and couldn't find the bathroom for years. Like, this is more than knocking on the door for the Celtics.
But I don't think it matters if you beat Denver and then you lost in the next round to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I agree. If it's a shocking upset and then it's followed by
you lose 4-1
your own
to
exit,
Minnesota.
then I don't think it matters. But beat the Nuggets, be the 7th seed, year 21, 39 years old.
Yeah.
Go to the finals, win the finals, win the whole. I get it. This is part pipe dream, fantasy, whatever. But if they beat the Nuggets, they will have cleared the highest hurdle. At that point, maybe you could argue the Celtics are as high, but everything else is a much more manageable ask than what they're going to be asked to do starting on Saturday. And if they make that run, that's 2 in a Laker uniform. That is 1 virtually out of nowhere. The one they won in the bubble was not out of nowhere. They're the best team in the league. They were cruising along. All the other ones in Miami were not a surprise. The one in Cleveland is this crowning achievement of his career. That one's going to stay at the top forever. But beat the Nuggets, and all of a sudden it opens up a Laker legacy that is beyond the mercenary legacy that I think a lot of people look at him as right now.
So you're doing that.
Doing what?
You're saying that 2 gives immunity to
this particular team winning a title at this point in his career, I think changes everything.
Here's why I think it changes the most. And Slee, I think you will agree with me on this. Jokic is the best player by a country mile in the league right now. And it's not just the on-court stuff. Bro, if he gets 3 Russell trophies, rarefied air.
Yeah.
If
it's only
they do
6
it again.
guys, I think.
7 guys, I believe.
Yeah.
That is almost a bigger accomplishment as far as the rest of the league is concerned. Yo, if you can knock down the big boy, then yes, that hurdle is clear. To me, that I get what you're saying in terms of Laker legacy, but if thinking about the NBA, if this guy can get Jokic out of the playoffs this early, that to me is from a basketball standpoint
incredible. It's not just
incredible.
get him out either. It's get him out. To your point, Jokic is at the
prime,
the top of the mountain right now. I agree with you. He's the best player by a mile. And if you want to argue someone else, I'm not really going to listen. He's the best guy.
I like that phrase.
LeBron James is not the second best guy, the third best guy. He's not the 10th best guy. He's LeBron James, but it's a totally different version of him. He's in his 21st blanking season.
He's a vintage car that still looks great.
He's a vintage car that's going to go win the Indy 500. Okay, that's not just, hey, it did a lap and survived, right. and we put it back in the garage. It's win the damn race. That's different. And you beat Verstappen in the process.
Okay,
right?
Well, F1 chalk talk, M.
Did you look at Tiger any differently after he won his last Masters?
Yeah, because I thought it was way past the time that anything like that was.
Did it change his legacy in your
Yeah,
eyes?
absolutely.
Okay. Well,
big time.
I say that because I think his legacy, no matter what happened moving forward, was
the
already
golf legacy.
Okay,
it didn't change the impact legacy.
Did you look at Tom Brady differently after his last Super Bowl?
Here's why.
Well, no, okay. This is where I kind of I looked at Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady added a crazy step to his legacy by winning with a different team, a different franchise, different coach.
Belichick, yes.
The Belichick part of it, sure, but the difference with Brady is Brady got to the top and stayed there the whole time. There was never the dip, right? Like Brady's dip was minor here and there.
But the conversation was, hey, is this the franchise?
For sure.
Is it the coach?
If it's doing it away from your Robin Belichick in this case, then sure, I'll give you that. But Tiger went 10 years with not only not winning one, not even being close, really.
Yeah.
Like he was.
And his life changed, too.
His life changed, his health changed, everything about it. LeBron James has not been. I know they made the conference finals last year, but they weren't close to getting to the finals. They got swept. You know what I mean? It never felt like
sweep in NBA history, though. What? Oh, sorry. I'm not talking about that.
This would be kind of out of nowhere. They're in the play-in tournament.
I would agree, but it's going to be tough.
I think it's a good point of look where Jokic is in his career and having to go through Jokic to get there. By the way, I think that's kind
of
everybody.
Drago in round one. You know what I'm saying? Before you get to the rest.
And then you fight Bald Bull the rest of the way, right? Like you're not dealing with
till the finals. Right? Till the finals.
Okay, then it's Piston Hurricane in the finals.
Right.
You get the other guy. Who is the Buddha-looking dude? That guy was hard to take.
Who is that guy?
Had like a hippo name, or I forget
remember.
what it was. He was tough. But if they can beat them, now all of a sudden it's not like, okay, now another miracle needs to happen. Not really.
No.
You just need to kind of. Are they better than Minnesota? They might be. Are they better than OKC? Beat them 3 out of 4. Like it kind of lines up for you
honestly,
at that point.
You just got to play the way you have since February 1st. I think they have the 5th best record in the NBA since February, something like that. It's one of those. I did the math. So I just want to every time we go back and we talk about Lakers and the Nuggets and how it's been over these I don't like to call it the last 8 games. Let's go back all the way. Let's go a few years.
This goes back to the bubble when AD beat him with a buzzer beater to me.
Lakers are 12-11 against the Nuggets in their last 23 games.
Okay, you know what? Okay.
That's
Hi,
where
guys.
I'm
It was
going.
great to be here. Last 23 games. That's our sample size sleep.
That's where I'm
That's
going
what we're
moving
doing
forward. It took a while to get there. I had to figure out how exactly we're going to get to a positive. We got there. Since 2019-2020, Lakers are 12-11 against the Denver Nuggets. The 0-8 crap that you guys keep bringing
Small
up
sample.
means nothing.
I was
Small
somewhat
sample.
facetiously referring to the bubble. You absolutely were not.
So small sample size. It doesn't even count. Doesn't even count.
I love it.
That's good.
All right, we got some phone calls, 877-710-ESPN. We'll do that. A lot more Laker talk to get to as well. Plus, the NFL draft 1 week from today, and the Rams actually have a pick for the first time in, I think, the last time that the Lakers were better than the Nuggets.
It's good to see you, boys.
That's coming up. It's
Good seeing you
Travis
too, buddy.
Sleep. Thanks, Yates. 710 ESPN.
Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Mason and Ireland today at 1 after Trav and Sleep.
Did you guys like the picture that I sent out?
I thought it was very on brand.
It was on purpose.
Mason shirtless in a jacuzzi, holding onto a pipe.
Holding onto the pipe. Which I thought was a nice
staring into the camera.
I thought it was nice, but I had a very sort of really good picture. It was very thirsty, but a very good picture.
Very thirsty. The OGs of LA Sports Radio. That's Mason and Ireland.
On 710 ESPN.
Hey, I'm Dave Denholm.
And I'm Mario Rees.
You know us from the LAFC radio broadcasts.
Now we have a new podcast called LAFC Plus, and you can find it on the ESPN LA app.
LAFC Plus brings you all the latest on the black and gold.
Plus, we break down the latest news and interesting stories from around MLS.
For all the news, fun, insight, and everything that is MLS and LAFC, join us on LAFC Plus.
LAFC! It's available on the ESPN LA app and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Join us.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
Chen ESPN.
All right, guys, we haven't done one of these
Aloha.
in a minute. Aloha. So
Cap.
we're a week away from the NFL draft, where presumably Caleb Williams will go number 1 overall to the Chicago Bears, and he'll be USC's 6th number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. Okay, so Caleb Williams will be the 6th. There are 5 other number 1 overall NFL draft picks. Okay, so we're gonna do a little last man standing. We'll see who can be the last man standing with what we have here. So
You might win this one.
I want to start with you, Al, because I think I can get you on the board with at least one. All right, so Al, you start us off. Who is on this list?
Okay, I'm actually not sure if he was number 1, but I'll go quarterback. Carson Palmer 1 or no? Okay.
Carson Palmer is
Telling you
the
guys
most
right now,
recent number 1 overall.
I think that's the only one I got.
No, you got one more. For sure.
Yeah, you have at least one more.
Yeah.
All right, Jorge?
Keyshawn.
There you go. That was the other one.
Yeah. Amigo.
Turn your mic. There you go.
Yeah, turn your mic.
Yeah.
Oh, my mic's on.
Now it is.
Yeah, now it is.
It wasn't for a second.
So we got 2.
My
You
turn?
muted yourself.
Yes. All right, Travis.
Anthony Munoz.
You didn't go for the most obvious one?
Did. I wanted. Okay.
You wanted that on the turn?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. Al, what is another number 1 overall pick from USC?
Was OJ number 1?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So OJ is correct. All right, let's see if you can get one on the board. These are hard ones.
Was Matt Leinart one? No.
All right, so Al, you win by default.
Can I guess at the? I think I know at least one of the others.
What was Seau?
Seau was not number one.
Was he top 5?
I don't
10,
know.
something like that?
I just know he wasn't number one. Marcus Allen?
No.
The
other two.
Hold on. Don't tell me yet.
They are old, like when you were in college.
Is it Frank Gifford?
No.
Who is it?
It's 1968. Ron Yeri.
Ron Yeri was number
Ron
one.
Yeri.
Offensive tackle. And they were back to back. OJ was the year after that, and then Ricky Bell. In 1977 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So Ron Yeri actually is has a famous photography business, I believe, that he takes the team pictures for every team ever in the history of the world. That's what I think that's the same guy. I could have it wrong. I would have bet the farm that Anthony Munoz was on that list. Shows you what I know. Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Caleb Williams will be 6, you said?
The 6th number 1 overall pick for USC.
The Rams have not picked in the first round since Jared Goff went number 1 overall 2016.
You want me to see Lakers Nuggets from 2016?
I still don't know if they're going to pick a player there. I think they're going to pick much earlier or much later. I'd be really surprised if they pick at 19. I think they'll end up picking at like 10 or 12 or at 40. I think that's kind of how they've been operating. I think what's interesting about this draft, because a lot of the mocks have the position that you see in the mocks, the Rams are taking a defensive player, and specifically a pass rushing defensive player like Leatu Latu, Chop Robinson. If you're into like the details of who these guys are, there's a podcast called Locked on Rams that's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Never behind a paywall, and there is a YouTube component where you can go through all of these things along the way. But the second most common thing you're seeing mocked beyond that is the Rams moving a little bit in round 2 to take Michael Penix out of Washington. And the quarterback thing is fascinating to me because they've got a guy that has won a Super Bowl for them. They got a guy that might end up in the Hall of Fame who's still playing at a really high level. Do you really draft a quarterback right now? And especially, do you move to draft a quarterback?
Let me kind of ask this question. Let's look at it from when the Packers moved. Actually, I don't even think the Packers moved up, but when they drafted Jordan Love, that kind of it changed the entire relationship with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And I don't think anyone was questioning that Aaron Rodgers is not still the man. I don't think anybody was questioning that this guy is still going to be, as long as you have him as your quarterback, you got a legitimate chance to go make a run in the NFC. If they drafted a quarterback, do you think that means anything to Matthew Stafford? I don't think it does.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a good question because Aaron Rodgers is a weirdo, and he gets in his feelings really easily.
Let's say full transparency. They're going to Matthew Stafford. Hey, we'll just give you a heads up on this. If we find a quarterback that we think is the quarterback for 3 years down the road, it's our responsibility to make sure that we as an organization, we want to be smart about it, and that's what we want to do. Now, if Matthew Stafford could say, guys, get me either use that pick to help us this year, use that pick to make sure this year and next year, like you're kind of looking at your window, but I understand where they're coming from if the Rams do it. I guess just the only question that you're asking, do you think Stafford would be okay with that?
He'd be more okay with it than Aaron Rodgers would be for the reasons that I mentioned, because Rodgers is he's prickly, right? Like he's looking for reasons to be bothered by things.
Right. I think that Matthew Stafford, every starting quarterback has an ego, but I think his ego is a different ego than Aaron Rodgers.
I agree. But the other thing you brought up, I think, is the reason why it may be.
Help now.
Dude, I got rounded off. I got 4 years left. Mm-hmm. Right, I'm going to play till I'm 40 years old. I got 4 years left.
We just lost Aaron Donald.
How does Michael Penix help me? Mm-hmm. How does Michael Penix help me get ready to win a Super Bowl this year or next year or the year after that? The answer is it doesn't. It only helps you, and it only helps you after I'm gone. Mm-hmm. I need another wide receiver. Right. I need a tight end. Mm-hmm. I need a left tackle. I need somebody to go sack the quarterback. Like I need these other things to help me do this. This literally helps nobody but you, and not anytime soon, and certainly not until I'm gone. So I don't think that's an unreasonable emotion to have. If the Rams were bad, then sure, you got to start thinking about what's coming next. They're not. They're pretty darn good.
But it is also, I get the responsibility of, if we found somebody in the draft that we really like, and we are looking down the road.
So I think that matters. For instance, if the Rams at 19, for the sake of argument, let's say they pick at 19, or they move to 25 or whatever, and they pick a player at 25, whatever. And then all of a sudden, it's their turn to pick again, or it's getting closer to their turn to pick again, to where to move wouldn't cost you a whole lot. And a player like Michael Penix, who's the name that we keep talking about, is still kind of there, or maybe it comes all the way back to you again, and he's still there. You're like, look, this just fell into our laps. This was not our plan, but we have to take this.
We're taking him.
We're taking him because he could be the future of our team. That's a much easier sell to Stafford and to everybody else that we weren't planning on him. But he's here. We really like him. We think that he can help us in 2029. We need to start getting ready for that, and we think that's the future of this team. But if you move up to take him, and especially if you move up in a significant way to take him, you're broadcasting a weird message. I don't think you can take a quarterback to go get that guy. If it lands in your lap, I think it's a different story.
Yeah, but I also think they can't be so 2 years from now focused. They do need to build a team for a future at the same time. And I think that I think it wouldn't be crazy.
Can I make a case for why they can do both things at the same time? The case to doing both those things, that I'm going to pick either players that I think are Leatu Latu from UCLA, I think is a guy that you could drop in right now, and he's going to give you
impact.
Close. Solid NFL play. He's not going to be, oh my God, we got the next. It's not going to be that.
Which all you can ask for from a first-year player.
He's a Honda Accord. But I think his ceiling is kind of where you're at right now. That whatever he's going to be, he's that right now. There's Chop Robinson, for instance, is a guy that's a little more unfinished material, a guy that's going to be better 5 years from now than he is right now. So if you're drafting those projects a little bit later and you're taking something a little bit more of a sure thing now, or you're using that first-round pick to trade out and get established NFL players right now and find your Kyren Williams, find your Puka Nakuas, find your guys that you're drafting for your Davis Allens, the guys that have had impact. Find another left tackle, I'm blanking on his name right now, Lark Jackson, who is an undrafted free agent, and develop some other things there. I'm not sacrificing my future because they've proven they're happy to punt on first rounders if they think that other ways to get good today are available to them.
But you're not finding the Hall of Fame members of the Rams organization in the 4th, 5th round.
No, you're not.
So you're not finding guys to fill in spots.
I hear you, and you're not wrong. But in the process of maybe potentially punting on that Hall of Famer down the road, what if you win another Super Bowl? What if you go to another Super Bowl? Is that not worth it?
Well, what does Les Snead always say? That you just got to find your window. Their window. But by the way, I don't know how much their window changed. I mean, the conversation of a lot of our conversation feeling really, really good about the Rams was before Aaron Donald decided that he was going to retire.
Yep.
I actually don't know what their window is now. I don't. I mean, they don't have.
That's a good point.
To not have a. I think our conversation's a lot different a couple months ago than it is today. I don't know what they are in the NFC. They don't have a defense.
Well, they might not have a defense.
They might not have a defense.
We could show up and get week 1 and be like, oh, no, this is not good. Right? That's a real possibility that Aaron Donald was so good.
So I don't know how much that dictates what they're doing in the draft or that
you know what else
window
could
that
happen?
we're talking about.
They could have a defense. You're like, that's all right.
That's serviceable.
Yes, it's not going to be the 85 Bears, but it could be, you know what? That's a little bit better than we thought. That it's league average. They've got the 17th best defense in the league. You can go win with that.
But also, when's the last time someone won a Super Bowl with a bad defense or an average defense?
Well, I would argue that the Rams had an average defense, not like a bad defense, but they weren't
they had 10 sacks in that Super Bowl? They had Von Miller, they had Aaron Donald, they had Jalen
did,
Ramsey.
But keep in mind, everybody was sacking Joe Burrow 10 times a game in that playoff run. That was more a function of Cincinnati having a terrible offensive line than it was.
But that defense also got stops against the Niners.
For sure. But again, I think there's a lot of ground between bad and good enough. I don't know if you have to have a great one.
Before Aaron Donald announced he was retiring, what do you think? 10-ish wins coming into this year?
If you set the number at 10, I would have a hard time picking whether to go over or under.
Be tough. I'm with you. That's why they always do the half.
10 is the number.
Okay.
Yeah.
without him, I'm just out of curiosity, how much did that change?
9? I don't know. Look, I don't think Chris Shula, their new defensive coordinator, knows for sure. I don't think Les Snead knows for sure. I don't think Sean McVay knows for sure. It's impossible to try to do the math of what your defense is going to look like when you take off the best defensive player your team has ever had, the sport may have ever had. And does it go from pretty good to awful, or does it go from pretty good to just okay? I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. I think we got to see. And they're going to spend this pick on offense. I have this weird feeling that they're going to go offense just because that's how
offense number one.
At 19, you're saying?
Wherever they pick, I think it'll be to pick an offensive player.
Because then they're going to go fully in offensive mode. Hey, we're gonna try to stack the deck.
First one to 40 wins.
Right.
One of those kind of deals, which doesn't always work, except for occasionally it works. Right?
Yeah. And you're probably banking that you're not going to get the same Puka Nacua that you did last year. Maybe you get a tight end. Maybe you get another receiver. They could get a receiver that's actually fast and go deep. I don't know. But everything is pointing towards a defense and then maybe a quarterback in a later rounds. But one thing in Michael Penix's corner to come to the Rams, if he does fall to the Rams in a later round, I think not in the first round, would be that he's played for so long. They like guys that have been in college for a while and that have been, quote-unquote, professionals in college for a long time. Puka Nacua was like that. Cooper Kupp was like that. All these guys played a long time, so I think that's one thing in Michael Penix's corner.
Look, the NFL draft is kind of a crapshoot under the best of circumstances. The Rams have had more good drafts than they've had bad. And their philosophy has, what did we say, borne fruit? Yes. Fruit has been born.
Has been bared.
Fruit has been bared in the Rams draft philosophy over the last few years. So I'd be surprised if they end up with a quarterback. The window's open now.
I mean, they have sets embedded at practice facility.
That didn't work out. That's one in the you never know what you're going to get category. Factor Caps coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. You do know what you're going to get at Rotolo Chevrolet. Here's what you're going to get. You're going to get that Silverado you were looking for because they have all the Silverados, all the makes, models, colors. You have a very specific need and say, I want this Silverado, this color with these options. They've got it. You want the right price? Rotolo Chevrolet's got you covered on that as well. But what you know you're going to get at Rotolo Chevrolet, 100,000 times out of 100,000 is customer service that's going to knock your socks off. That's why they win Dealer of the Year every year. That's why you go back time and time again. That's why I've had multiple cars from Rotolo Chevrolet, multiple Silverados from Rotolo Chevrolet, because they take care of you. You feel good about it. It's transparent. It's courteous. It's upfront. You're going to tell your friends, hey, I bought Silverado at Rotolo. If you've been looking, you got to go there. That's how you do it year after year after year. It's what Mike Capozio insists on, and make sure that everybody on his team understands it, to make sure that you get exactly what you want at the price you want and you feel good about it. So if you've been looking, get out to Rotolo Chevrolet, 210 Freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. You can't miss it. And if you're thinking, Fontana's not exactly around the corner for me, go online, RotoloChevy.com, ROTOLO, RotoloChevy.com, and tell them that Travis sent you.
Coming up today at
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app. And bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
So cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
no, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys, I forgot to mention
Aloha.
that part of my prep for the Taylor Swift album coming out tonight, the Tortured Poets Department, will be watching the Matthew Stafford documentary that's going to be on YouTube at 8 p.m. tonight. So I'm going to do Matthew Stafford doc into Taylor Swift because inside us are two wolves.
Is that the, you might be the only person on Earth, I put together Earth and person, that's going to do that specific doubleheader. Unless maybe Kelly Stafford is a big Taylor Swift fan, then maybe
I don't
her.
know if they went to the concert or not, but no. And also, I'm sure Kelly's already watched it. She's already watched her cut.
Okay.
But yeah, I will be doing that, and I will live tweet everything. So stay tuned. Okay, so Peter Fairbanks is a pitcher for the Rays, and he had a pretty terrible outing yesterday. And afterwards, he was at the locker room, and he decided to say this in regards to his outing.
Is it just a matter of command, location, selection, anything specific?
No, I thought it generally sucked. I didn't think it was a specific suck. I thought it was like an all-encompassing type of suck. So, we're going to try and rectify that. But right now, I'm going to be pretty pissed about it.
All right, so that's Peter Fairbanks and his
I love it.
pretty raw reaction. Because, what else are you going to say? Yeah, if you suck, you suck, okay? So moments like these where you had a terrible day at work and you have people in your face asking you questions about how exactly were you so terrible at what you did at work today. So moments like these, you're happy that you don't have to field a bunch of questions after a bad day of work. Travis Fettercap.
Fact. That athletics, maybe politics. I'm trying to think of other things where
Sometimes with award shows, things like that.
Sure,
yeah.
like this immediate reaction to the thing that you just did with virtually no time to process, decompress, kind of figure out what you want to do. That doesn't happen more often is really funny to me or surprising to me because A, that's funny. But B, you can feel he's furious, mostly at himself for performing at such a low level for any given day. But he had one of the worst days of his professional life, and somebody comes up to him and says, "Hey, you were really, really bad at this.
Today.
Any idea on why you're so bad at your job?" That's not a fun moment.
It's a complete crap.
It's a complete crap.
Al?
Okay, this is why I'm going to go cap on this, okay? Sometimes it's good when you have a really bad day to just kind of get it out.
Vent.
It's to vent, and it's also, if you can joke about it a little bit. I mean, obviously he's not taking himself serious in that interview, but there's a little bit of, if I came home today and Michelle says, "How's your day?" Let me use her as like a reporter. And I say, I got to be honest, it was awful. I was awful.
I had a bad draft pick.
I had a bad draft pick. No, I was
Jorge
awful.
took the rock.
This happened. I was awful. It was awful. This was bad. There's a little bit, if I kind of make fun of how bad the day was, do you ever, things are not going your way? Trav, do you ever just kind of laugh sometimes? It's like, of course.
Yeah.
Do you ever have that reaction? Of course.
When it rains, it pours.
Right.
I think those kind of help a little bit. Now, do I want it every day? I don't, but I think in this instance, I'm okay with it.
Jorge?
What I found interesting about that is the reporter comes at you like giving you options of, opt for one of these. Like, was it your command? Was it you're not feeling it? Was it like this? Was it that? And the fact that he takes none of them, he's like, no, I just simply suck.
All around suck.
A general suck.
I just love the honesty. And, Bill Belichick's another guy who just brushes these reporters out like that. Right?
I love real emotion.
Yeah.
It is so refreshing when you get somebody, and you can be, guys, it's okay to be mad.
Right.
It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to snap at somebody once in a while because it's real. Ah, man, gonna go get him next time. That's so wrong.
Can I guess who that was?
Who?
It's your boy Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I wonder.
Let's ride.
You lost the Super Bowl because you blanked it up. How does that feel? Oh, gosh, guys. Can't wait to get back out there.
Camp.
That's a crazy person has that reaction. You go out there and get lit up from foul pole to foul pole, and you come in, what happened? I suck. That's what happened. That's normal. Russell Wilson's the worst. Next.
Go Steelers.
Next.
Next.
What?
All right, so this morning, a trailer for a new movie from M. Night Shyamalan came out. It's called Trap. T-R-A-P. The trailer is one of the most interesting premises for a movie I think I've ever seen. And I think that's one great thing about M. Night is he kind of has these great premises, doesn't always execute the same way when it gets on the screen. But if you are interested, or if you're not, I would say check out that trailer. But the trailer does reveal a lot. It reveals potentially to me a lot of what's going to happen in this movie and maybe gives away a potential spoiler. But again, if you put it in the trailer, it's probably not that big of a spoiler. Anyway. You do not want to see a trailer for a movie that you want to see. So if you're going to go see a movie, you just want a recommendation, no trailer, going in blind. Al, Factor Cap.
Cap, not every time, but there are times where I don't know enough about the movie and I want to see the trailer. Or I just know I want to go see a movie and I'm not sure which movie to go see. And maybe I just don't have the knowledge of what the movies are, or I don't have one that I'm specific to. I'll go to Landmark's website and I'll see, okay, here the movie's out. Let me see some trailers, and based on the trailer, I'm probably going to pick my movie. So, Cap.
Trev?
I think I'm fact. I don't have to see a trailer, because I don't see a ton of movies. I'm going based on recommendations of people who have given me good recommendations in the past. Hey, Trav, I think you'd like this. Whether it's a book, whether it's a TV show, whether it's a movie, I don't care about a critic necessarily. I don't care about reading the dust jacket on the book. That's not really going to hook me all that often. But if somebody that's turned me on to a handful of books before says, oh, you really like that one? And I did like most of the other ones. That's what's going to go. The trailer doesn't really, because you can make anything look pretty good in a trailer.
Yeah. And again, this premise is really cool. I'm really interested to see what he does here.
When's it coming out?
In August.
Okay.
So, without going into detail, basic, Dad takes his daughter to an Eras Tour style concert. So it's Eras Tour, Rihanna, Olivia Rodrigo, basically pop girl, and a bunch of cops surround the stadium because they're trying to find a killer, and this whole thing is a trap to find the killer inside of the stadium.
I'm in. That sounds cool.
Watch the trailer.
Yeah.
I like your trailer voice, by the way.
Jorge.
In a world.
In a world. So, Jorge, what do you think? Do you not want to see trailers?
I've changed over time because you guys remember back in the day, you pop a DVD and then they loaded it with a bunch of trailers, and then it would make you go back and watch different films. When you go to the movie theater, you watch different trailers.
Coming soon on VHS.
Now I go based on people like you recommending a movie, or my buddy Richard who recommends a movie, and there's no need for me to watch a trailer anymore. That's 3-4 minutes of you doing something else. So I don't need to watch a trailer nowadays.
Also, I never get tired of this. If you tweet at me or DM me or whatever saying, hey, I'm trying to see a rom-com this weekend, what should I watch? Whatever. I love giving recommendations.
I know you do.
Even if I don't know you, I'll try to be like, hey, here's a little description of what this is, and maybe you'll like it.
Yeah, The Notebook. Check it out.
Exactly. All right, so I have one more thing for you guys. So, I'm not going to give any spoilers for this if you are a Survivor fan. So this has nothing to do with the outcome of the episode. You don't need to know Survivor. But in the episode, they play hide and seek at one point. And one of the contestants goes off saying he's learning so much about people by how they play hide and seek. If they go this place, if they take it really seriously, he's using that to say how he's going to play the game and whether they're a threat or not. So anyway, you think you can learn a lot about somebody by how they play games. So you can play, like, if they play Monopoly, if they play charades, you know a lot about somebody by how they play games. Jorge, fact or cap?
Yeah, especially the cheaters. It happens with us in the family. Like, you'll catch somebody putting an extra, like, we play bingo or whatever, like, or we call it loterias, just like cards, and you put your whatever. Sometimes we catch somebody putting in, like, the whatever we use, a bean or whatever, to fill in the sun, and the sun has not come by, like, and then they win. Oh, loteria, we win. I'm like, dude, the sun hasn't even come out yet. Oh, but my card is full.
Monopoly, everybody starts with $600,
and then
this guy's $2,800.
6,000. So yes, I look for just the fun way of cheating, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Travis?
Yeah, I think it's fact. But I think you can learn a lot more about a certain type of person than every person. If somebody takes a game and has a bizarre reaction to losing, you got a pretty good insight into what sort of person that is, right? Like that's not complicated. Now, there is the person that can just not kind of engage on that stuff, and it's super important to them, but you'll never know it. And like that information you're not pulling out. But if we're playing Battleship and I J7 you and you're out and you hurl the thing across the room, I know what kind of guy you are.
Exactly. Al?
B6.
In fact, you could definitely learn a lot. It's kind of funny. I think for me, I'm only competitive in things that I care about, right? However, if we're playing pickleball and all of a sudden you care just a little bit too much, now I'm like, you know what? Now I want to win only because you want to win. If that makes sense, right? Like
Are we teammates in this scenario?
Let's say you and I are playing two other guys that care way too much.
Yeah.
And they're from the radio station. Well, now I'm going to try and beat them. I didn't care coming into it. It's all good. We lost.
Yeah.
But if they want it that bad, then I kind of want to win just because they want it.
I'm with you on that 100%, but I have one follow-up question on that. Do you want it because you want it, or you just want them to suffer?
I want them to lose.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, me too.
But there's a reason why I want them to lose. Why do you care so much about pickleball?
100%.
So
we're on the same page.
Then it's, well, if you care that much, then let me put a little bit into it to make sure that you don't get what you're looking for.
I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to make sure that you don't win.
Yes.
That's
You'll match you'll match their competitiveness, I guess.
No, it's almost just like you care way too much for this, so let's go to work.
Yeah.
Let's go to work to make sure
I
that
want to
doesn't
take
happen.
something away from you that you want that I don't care about. That's the ultimate
that's
win.
Why I'm now at these soccer games now. Like, I get these guys that take it serious. Like, we're not playing for
It's too much.
a World Cup or anything,
No,
guys.
it's
Like,
too much.
I'm having fun. But if you play hard at me, I'm going to come hard at you, too.
Excuse me, Jorge. Sorry about that. Another baseball legend says that pitchers are doomed, basically. That's coming up. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Mace. Life may not always go as
trying to watch games without getting blacked out every time.
Jorge's got a guy.
Of course I do.
That is the worst.
It's the worst.
It is the worst.
And I don't even know the rules.
It seems like such an antiquated thing, too.
Remember how I used to hide when I was telling you and Susan about the guy? And Susan's like, why are you hiding? I was like, I just don't want to put it out.
Right.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
I would pay the Dodgers to just watch Dodger games, and they
coming.
will not let me.
It's coming.
Okay, because they did it for the Lakers. I bought the $20 a month NBA.
Yep.
I can get all the Lakers broadcasts on Spectrum. Loved it. Great. I'm willing to pay the $20. I will pay $20 to watch Dodger games, and they will not let me unless I get the Spectrum thing.
So I was just telling Trav, so I have the MLB, I don't know, is it called League Pass?
Extra innings.
Extra innings, okay. MLB Extra innings. I have that. I have it because I have like a quarter season package of the Padres, and it comes with it.
You want to watch Padre games,
It comes with it, okay?
Can you even imagine?
Watching Padre games?
We're the last one to win a playoff series, okay?
It should be free.
Yeah, I mean,
why would you pay for that?
we did win against the Dodgers. All right, put that aside for a quick second. But I
your
will,
World Series.
I will say, kind of was, unfortunately. I will say that it's like even games with that. Some games I can watch. If I'm down in San Diego and there's a Dodger-Padre game on, I can't watch it. Like, it's all so confusing. I still don't understand any of the blackouts. I really, truthfully do not understand them.
So, Emily,
ESPN was blacking out Laker games simply because
there's national games and there's regional. Look, I'm not going to get into the weeds of all of this, but the rules are ridiculous. They're from another era. It doesn't make any sense. Every game is on TV every night somewhere. Just throw the switch. Is anybody choosing not to go to a game because it's on TV? No. If you're going to, at least not in my world, like, hey, I want to go see the Dodgers tonight. Oh, it's on TV. Oh, then I'm not going. No, you're going to go to the Dodger game that day if you're planning on going to the Dodger game.
Again, I'm more than happy to pay Spectrum to just watch Dodger games. I am willing to do that, and they will not.
That is coming. What you said, every team is going to have the
direct-to-consumer.
I think it's MLB.TV Diamondbacks, MLB.TV Padres. I think there is a package where you
can't do it for the Dodgers, though. It's everything else. I can watch the Nationals, but I can't watch the Dodgers.
Spectrum paid the Dodgers I think it literally was $8 billion. They're not just going to say, we'll cut our own knees off by giving it to Emily directly.
Why did the Lakers allow it?
I don't know. These are conversations I don't know. It wasn't that long ago. It was a little bit long ago where you would see Dodger games from Dodger Stadium on TV maybe 3 or 4 times a year. They were all blacked out because the fear was that, people won't come if they can watch it on TV. It's just simply not true.
Didn't it take how many years did it take for them? DirecTV couldn't watch.
That was, I think, a 6-year deal. I'm talking about like back in the 70s and 80s where when they would go on the road, you'd get half of the road games would be on Channel 11 back in the day, right? And then 5. But to see the Dodgers in their home uniforms at Dodger Stadium, that would take a nationally televised Saturday afternoon NBC game. That was your only chance to see it.
I think do you remember when Lakers were on KCAL?
Sure.
This is not that long ago. We're talking about
tape
15
delayed?
years ago. Tape delayed.
I know.
I'm not talking about the NBA Finals. I'm talking about if it was an early game, they wouldn't air it.
You know why?
Because they wanted you to get home and watch it then.
Yeah. Because they were afraid that you would still be at work. And now, because people work it's all crazy. It's all crazy. Emma, Al, Emily, don't listen. Al, will you have my back on this if we're good?
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I have your back, but if she raises her voice, I'm out.
When you were talking about, not Fredrickson, what was the guy's name that was angry?
Peter
Fairbanks.
Yeah.
You said that he had his meltdown in the locker room?
Right, because that's where the lockers are. It's the room where they are, the lockers. And that's every other sport calls it locker room.
See, that's not true either. It's the clubhouse in baseball. And in hockey, they get very specific. It is the dressing room.
Oh, wow.
Hockey.
Okay, so this is poem cop, now locker room wording cop?
Accuracy cop.
Trev.
Detail cop.
I'm out. I had your back.
Does the details matter? No, they don't in this specific instance.
Yeah, but see, I fancy myself somebody that likes to pay attention to the little things, especially when it comes to baseball. And I think Emily and I are similar in a number of ways in that the little things can make a big difference.
Sure.
And I feel like I'm helping you by telling you that it's the clubhouse.
Thank you to the baseball cop over here.
You're welcome.
For correcting
I
my
gotta
grammar
thank you.
on things that don't matter. You understand what I was talking about?
I wasn't correcting your grammar. I was correcting your vocabulary.
Jesus Christ.
I guess you're on this one. We don't got your back after all.
I'm just trying to help. I know you're a bright young woman, and I want to make sure that you have the proper words for the proper time.
What's it called in golf? The fitting room?
Well, and see, okay, this is very interesting. In golf, it could be either the locker room or the clubhouse, depending on which part of the room you're in. See, it's very detailed.
It really doesn't matter.
Slee, you suck. I'm looking at you for just one time. Just line up behind me.
I'm out. I told you. I said right
Just
at the beginning.
Just
she
line
raises
up
her
behind
voice.
me.
I'm out.
Come on, man. Are we in this together or not?
No,
you're like,
not
I'm
on
out.
this one.
I quit.
I ran the other way.
I'm not picking you in our snake draft of hosts after that. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
I don't
Great
know.
question.
Travis and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
All right, guys, it's a snake draft, and
It's
it
a
is
snake
time.
draft.
It's a snake draft. It's time to draft hosts because it is Conan O'Brien's birthday. Did I say birthday right? Is that the right
Yes.
terminology for someone's when they were born?
As long as they were born today.
Because
Okay, yes, it's Conan O'Brien's birthday.
The R
today.
is silent.
Oh yeah, of course.
Nowadays, you kids say B-Day.
So far, so good. I'll let you
Great.
know when you get it wrong.
Thanks, birthday cop. So it's his birthday, so we're going to draft hosts. So like late night talk show hosts, game show hosts, reality show hosts, any host. If you can argue that they're a host, I will take it. Okay. So the order is Travis, Emily, Alan, Jorge. We're each picking 3, 12 total, because that's all that can be on the graphic, right, Parker? Thank you.
See.
All right. So first up is going to be Travis. Who is your first host?
So this person, I think, is ubiquitous in all of our lives and has been for a very long time. My kids know her. My parents know her. My grandparents know her.
Dang it.
And I don't know if there can't be 1% of the population that doesn't know who this person is. Oprah Winfrey.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get her.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing you say.
Is that not the obvious number one pick?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just thought you would be wrong.
Well, you know why I didn't think you would take that? Because I didn't think it would be your number one.
But
Right.
she's a talk show host. She's the
everything.
richest
No,
person
she's
you're ever
everything.
going to run. It's like everybody knows her. The vast majority of people like her. Like she's Oprah. She's everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. She's ubiquitous.
Yeah.
And she's one of those people that
And I
you're so
got to ruin it for Emily.
she's one of those people that's famous for just their first name. So if you just
Right.
say their first name, you know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And she's not only her show's been off the air for over 15 years.
It's been a really long
And
time. And
she's
she's still front and center.
Oprah.
She got a network.
Network. She has
Magazine.
magazine. She also gets invited
Produces
to do
movies.
Produces movies. Acted in movies.
Yeah.
Color Purple. Everything. Okay. So
Has a pretty
Oprah
nice
Winfrey?
spread in Montecito, California, too, which is not
You get a car.
inexpensive.
Yes. Yeah. I think she's doing fine.
It's like a quarter acre of a lot.
So I'm gonna.
It's a quarter of Montecito.
Isn't that where they all are?
Yeah.
It's where, look, your neighbors are probably doing okay if you live in Montecito.
Costner's there, right?
They're all there.
Montecito's before Santa Barbara, right?
Just before.
Okay. Yeah, I've definitely driven around. I'm like, before.
They'd stop you at the gate.
Before we go there, can we just drive around a little
She's
bit?
neighbors with Prince Harry. So.
Right. Exactly.
So my next one, I'm going to pick somebody that I watched every morning in high school. I would put this on my phone, I would get ready for school, and I would listen to this person and their show from the night before. And I would just I'd laugh. They kind of formed a little bit of my relationship to politics, a little bit of my relationship to comedy, a little bit of my relationship to interviewing in general, and I loved his character. So I'm going to go with Stephen Colbert.
Sure.
I love Stephen Colbert. I've told the story about how my friends sent him a picture of our house. And I loved the Colbert Report growing up, and so I'm going to pick Stephen Colbert. And I still watch the show now, not as often, but Stephen Colbert is my first pick. Al, what's yours?
So I wasn't gonna, and I guess maybe because they're still available, this is where I'm going. These were my two favorite late night hosts: Conan O'Brien, number 1, and David Letterman, number 2. So those were my two favorite ones growing up. Letterman.
You only get one choice here, though.
No, that's right.
You're not the turn.
Oh,
Gracias.
Conan.
Jorge, do what you got to do.
You do what you do, but Conan, I got my number 1. I'm good with whatever.
He's the reason for this draft happening. He's your rabbit hole later.
I love Conan.
Conan's the best, and he's also one of those people known by one name.
Sure.
If you say Conan, either you're talking about the barbarian or you're talking about the redhead.
I'm going to go ahead and cross Letterman off.
Okay,
Good
Jorge,
thing you did
God,
that.
I want to know more people whose answer would be the barbarian. That is awesome. Hey, Conan, what do you think of him? Love it. Great movie. I love the sword. Arnold did a great job in that. I want to know those people. That's incredible.
And also, Conan's known for his hair more than anything, too. Just the iconic swoosh.
So good.
Again, O'Brien. Jorge?
Yeah, so Slee can have something to tell Lady Slee Day today. How was your day? Jorge took Letterman. I'm taking Letterman.
All right.
Good choice.
Letterman, I think Letterman. And
Were you a fan? Were you a fan of his or no?
No, I just did it to take it from you.
Jorge is always the chaos pick, honestly.
Just to get you mad. I'm taking Letterman, and then I'm taking somebody that I grew up watching as a kid. I recently asked Sedano about this, and Sedano told me that the makeup artist still, to this day works with him or works across the street. Her name is Cristina Saralegui. She used to have this talk show just
Blonde.
like Oprah. Blonde.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And
She had a talk show here in English.
Yeah. Yeah, so she was based out of Miami, and I grew up watching that. She had top artists. It was like Oprah, but it was our Oprah growing up. Yeah.
All right, Alan, your second pick.
Good luck finding her partner, Cristina Saralegui.
Well, it can fit on the graphic.
Okay, this one, not everybody's taste. That's okay, but he's the biggest podcaster in the world. Every time I find the episode so all over the place.
Brian Beckner.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
Culture Pop Podcast.
Culture Pop Podcast. Joe Rogan for me is my number 2 pick.
Yeah, you didn't pick Alex Earl for Caller Daddy? Come on.
She's killing it.
They're both killing it.
I know.
Both Rogan and Alex Earl. Both aren't necessarily for me, but again, they are.
That was not on the board. That you were a closet Joe Rogan fan.
Yeah, Rogan had. Yeah, it's okay. But I do admire people's ability to market themselves and to corner themselves off. I like Joe Rogan on Fear Factor. Big Fear Factor fan. Another host.
Watching people eat cow eyeballs.
Honestly, I used to watch Fear Factor.
I couldn't watch it.
So
it was
much.
too much.
Not for me.
I would stay home and watch hours of Fear Factor.
Not for me.
Anyway, so my next pick, I'm going to go with someone who has been in our lives for 24 years. He has been one of the sexiest hosts in this entire 24 years. He's only gotten better with age. And I'm obsessed with the show now. It's always been in my life, but I kind of got into it last year. And I'm going to take Jeff Probst.
Yeah.
He is the host of Survivor. And the thing that is great about him is that he is sassy. He is also an executive producer. And he's in control of how to make the game constantly evolve. And so if you're a Survivor fan, he is a big hand on why it still has staying power. Why 25 years later we're still watching, or at least some people are still watching Survivor. So Jeff Probst is my second pick. All right, Travis, you got 2.
I'm going game show next. I would argue that if he's not the most famous game show host of all time, he's probably number 2. He's somebody that is part of pop culture, has been for a very long time, had a kind of a brand aside from just being the host of this particular show. I'm going to take Alex Trebek. That Alex Trebek is just Alex Trebek, and then he's Alex Trebek from Jeopardy for a million years. But like Alex Trebek, kind of smart alecky, a little sarcastic, very smooth, very Canadian, but also was able to kind of turn the knife a little bit when he needed to do it. So I'll take Alex Trebek with my second one.
Okay.
There's still a lot of great ones on the board.
No, with this. These are the good ones where everyone's going to leave a suggestion.
This... You said it as a joke at the beginning, but it literally was on my list because this is the first host I remember like being a part of my life. I knew who he was. I knew what the comedy was. I knew what I was going to get.
You're going to get the old people vote with this one.
I might, but it was just very... he was the guy. Like when you were on that show, it was a big deal. If you killed it on that show, your career was going to take off. If you were a star, like... Sinatra and Don Rickles and Bob Hope and all these people used to show.
People stayed up to watch it and like made a point to stay up to
Absolutely.
watch it.
Johnny Carson.
Yeah, great pick. You have three very could have been number 1 overall picks.
Yeah.
So I would be very shocked if you don't win on our poll of this one. So with that in mind, I am going to go. Do I go with a kind of a well-known pandering pick, though I do feel that I have a connection to this person, or do I go heart? I think I'm going to go heart. Because this person, not only did I watch her like daytime talk show a lot, I watched it too much and it probably infected my brain in a bad way. So there's that. There's that version of it. And she was a host of a reality TV show that also poisoned my brain, but also I can't look away. She had some of the most iconic moments in television history to me that she's like, we're all rooting for you. You failed us. I'm going to go Tyra Banks for the host of her talk show and America's Next Top Model. And again, my brain, I was too young to watch America's Next Top Model because it really ruined me for a lot of self-image and body image and way I view the world. But this is a heart pick. And I watched a lot of Tyra Banks growing up, so host Tyra Banks.
I'm not going to get mad at Tyra Banks on any list. I'm in.
Yeah. I was very close to picking someone else, and I'll reveal at the end. All
okay,
right, so
I'm going to go sports on this one. I think it's probably the best sports show out there. And yes, the personalities are everything, but he is...
Locked on Rams.
A master.
Locked on Lakers.
He is a master at driving it. Ernie Johnson. Ernie is as good as it gets. That show is amazing, and I know the clips are going to come from Barkley. They're going to come from Shaq, but Ernie is the perfect host for
I can
that
pick
show.
Bill Simmons?
No.
All right.
Not for me.
Jorge?
So you're going to get what she said, you're going to get the older vote?
Yeah.
I'm going for the Latino vote.
Okay.
You already got it with Letterman.
No. Yeah, right. No, I'm taking Don Francisco from Sábado Gigante. Just coming to Grandma's house on Saturday evenings or whatever. The show was on. It was a variety show. And if you guys are Latinos or Mexican, whatever, El Chacal was a big deal. This is contestants that would go up and sing. And according to how badly you would sing your song, this guy would blow you out with a trumpet. And then they would kick you out of the show.
Awesome.
And the whole crowd would go, Fuera! Get out of here because you're horrible at singing. So Sábado Gigante, Don Francisco as my third and final host.
Okay. I was going to ask you, I didn't know his name, but I was going to ask you who is the guy that hosts Sábado Gigante.
Don Francisco.
Because I just love the name Giant Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, that's just such a cool name.
That is right.
Right? I remember seeing... Emily, turn off your headset.
Sure.
I remember seeing it in the TV guide. It's like, I'm
Right,
like,
of course.
what in the world
big
is
deal.
Sábado Gigante?
Yeah.
Like, as a non-Spanish speaker, I'm like, what is that? Because it sounds awesome. I'd like to know what that is.
That was
That's
a
awesome.
variety
That's
show,
great.
man.
So if we missed any, tweet at us or call us, 877-710-3776. The person I almost picked was Wendy Williams. I was very close. She has a lot of very iconic pop culture moments. She is very controversial.
She is.
So I was almost picking Wendy Williams. Also almost picked Bob Barker. Because
So
He's on my list, too.
I was
He's on
back
my
and
list,
forth
too.
between Trebek and Bob Barker.
Right.
And I feel like
he's on my list,
Trebek
too.
has a little bit more punch outside of just the... Like,
Yeah.
Bob Barker is Price is Right and the Happy Gilmore cameo.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
But Trebek's been Trebek's just all over, was all over the place.
My strategy is I wanted a late night host, I wanted a reality or game show host, and then I wanted a really cheesy, crappy daytime host. That's why
Nobody
I
took
picked
Springer.
Oh, take Howard.
Maury.
Jose Luis.
I was never a Howard guy. I didn't listen, so that's why I didn't take him. But
Yeah, we didn't take any radio.
No
hosts.
radio people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Howard is the pick there. And Howard could have been the first pick overall, and it wouldn't have been a bad pick.
You didn't take the monkey.
I considered the monkey, but I don't know how many people know the Mutaba virus. I believe that's what it was called. After it bit Patrick Dempsey, and then the world nearly came to an end.
I never thought it was going to get back to you. I thought someone was taking it.
Not a good movie, but kind of fun. It was a pandemic movie before we had to have a pandemic that made it a little less fun. Greg Maddox says that pitchers, well, if you don't throw 100, you're doomed. That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Mace. Life may not always go as the playbook intended.
ESPN.
Porque siempre el sábado está aquí. Sábado gigante, porque siempre el sábado está.
That's how he would open the show. Sábado Gigante. He would get the crowd going, singing Sábado Gigante theme song. It was cool.
I want to hear the guy blow the trumpet.
Oh, I'll find it for you. Yeah.
I want to hear some, because that's like the Gong Show back in the day where they just say, okay, you're done. You're off the stage.
No one picked Ellen either. One of the longest running daytime talk shows as well.
Problematic.
Yeah. To say the
Most
least.
of these people are
Some of them
those
are,
I
but,
watched.
but
None of them I-
Ellen is currently problematic, right? Steve Mason has weighed in. His three: Johnny Carson, who I took; David Letterman, who Jorge took.
Yep. Jorge
and
loves him.
Steve Mason. Those are the three that.
I'm surprised in that order.
I texted back. I said virtually the same thing along the way. Apparently, we missed some people. Let's try North Hollywood and Roger. Roger, you're on Trav and Slee. What's up?
Hey guys, long-time listener, and Trav, I want to say thank you. It's hard to call, but you're the one that won me the Islands gift cards, the Papa Shot.
Awesome, good for you, brother.
I appreciate that. And there's two that we missed. Actually, three: Richard Bay, Jenny Jones, and Ricky Lake. I'm kind of old school, so
Richard Bay, Jenny Jones, and who?
Ricky Lake.
Oh, Ricky Lake. Oh yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, those were all
Lake was
popular.
actually-
Ricky Lake, I think, was an actor too. She was an actor. Jenny Jones, I only know because I remember her show briefly, and then she had that terrible trial that happened after because one guest, I think, killed another. It was a whole thing.
I didn't.
And Bay was like Walmart Geraldo. It was trying to be Geraldo without being Geraldo. Walmart Jerry Jones, Costco Springer. It was close. Like they were doing a decent job. Those are very, very good. Let's try another one. Jason Downey. Jay, what do you got?
So I'm a little upset that Bob Barker got honorable mention. It's like giving the guy that little itty bitty participation statue.
Yeah, it doesn't fit on the graphic.
He should have been on the list. The dude is associated with sick days. Okay, he has all the cool games. He has that cool microphone, and let's not forget he beat up Happy Gilmore.
Well, I mentioned the Happy Gilmore fight. That was iconic for sure. To your point, Jason,
Barker's a good one. No,
Barker's
that's
a great pick.
Yeah.
This is a good mix of a lot of worthy choices were left off. But
Arsenio Hall?
Arsenio Hall, absolutely. First guy to give Carson a real run for his money over a million years.
Magic Johnson?
Yeah, Magic
would have been a fun pick. That's for sure.
Amazing.
Jason brings up a good point. Barker's long, skinny microphone kind of had its identity of himself. However, Jason, I don't know if you're old enough to know this or not. Gene Rayburn beat him to the punch with the long, skinny microphone in the match game, I believe, that came out slightly before Price is Right. So he is not the only long, skinny microphone game in town. Another one, Kevin Ventura. Kevin, what do you got?
There's one that's known for making athletes cry, and it's kind of been lost to history, but Roy Firestone and his 1-hour talk show about sports.
Up close.
Yeah. I mean, what great show. I mean, he's kind of the Jerry Maguire scene is based off of Roy Firestone's show where, he used to go in and go so in-depth that guys would always end up crying on the show. But it was great. It was on right after school, so if you're, of a certain
Absolutely.
age, it was, a good guest for like an hour long, real in-depth.
Thanks for the call, Kevin. Are you familiar, Al?
Yeah, I never, but I know exactly what you're talking about. But I never watched the show. No,
I watched it. Like Kevin, are you still there?
Oh, he's gone.
No, Kevin. I'm going to guess Kevin is roughly the same age that I am. Maybe it's slightly younger.
84?
Something like that. He's right. You'd come right when you'd come home from school. That show would come on ESPN. It was you'd walk through the door, you'd grab your little snack or whatever, make your sandwich, and flip on the TV, and he was on. Roy, and he had all the biggest
Top
names,
guess.
all of them, and it got deep and it got emotional. And they chased that show for years after he left it, and they never quite got the formula right. Roy Firestone, it's a little niche because it's super sportsy, but it's very good. It's very good. Amanda in Long Beach. Amanda, what do you got?
I have Carson Daly.
Sure. Are you going Loveline Carson Daly, K-Rock Carson Daly,
no,
Today Show Carson
K-Rock,
Daly?
Sure. K-Rock for
Total
sure.
Replay
MTV,
Live.
K-Rock. MTV was awesome.
Carson Daly is a good. Carson Daly's been hosting something.
Yeah.
40 years. I mean, 30 at least,
And
right?
just spanning generations, because I know him from the TRL, and so that's like what I envision him as.
Yeah.
Did he host New Year's Eve?
I believe he did.
Yeah, the network
might still.
He
might still be hosting.
Carson Daly was a DJ at K-Rock here in town for a long time, and a super popular one, like Carson Daly. And then all of a sudden, like, wait, the guy from K-Rock's on NBC. He had his late night talk show. That is a terrific choice. Lawndale, Josh. I like this topic. What's up, Josh?
Hey, what's good, y'all? Happy to be here. You guys missed my absolute favorite one growing up. I'm 49, and I was envious of this guy. Everybody you talked to, he'd kiss right on the lips. Richard Dawson.
Richard Dickie Dawson. Yeah. Well, yes. Okay, so you think of him as Family Feud host, yes, Josh?
Yeah, and what was that, Demolition Man? Yes.
Demolition, and he was on Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, well, see, that's a little before my time. But as a kid growing up and just seeing he grab the women by the face and kiss them, I'm like, wow, how is he doing this?
Josh, that's a very good point.
I can't do that.
Emily, are you familiar with Dickie Dawson?
I obviously didn't watch it live, but I know of the talk show host who would grab people's faces and kiss them.
Richard Dawson hosted the so think Steve Harvey now, right? Mm-hmm. He would walk over, and it would be the Sliwa family. Mm-hmm. Okay, I would like you to think of you, your two sisters, your mom, and your dad are all on the panel, okay? Richard Dawson, your dad's leading the pack. He's batting in the leadoff spot.
Yep.
Hey, nice to meet you. Hi, what's your answer? Peanuts. Ding! He'd move one to his left.
He didn't kiss the dad, too?
Nope.
What?
And then he would take your mother's face by both cheeks, lean in, and kiss her on the mouth.
Yeah, I know my dad, who's originally from Iraq. Probably give him a cold clock real quick. Part of the show. He's probably saying, yeah, we don't do that here.
Then after that,
we don't do that here.
He would move to your sister.
It's not. He's probably not
and
getting
then
that far.
do that. And then he would move to your next sister and do it.
And then skip your brother.
And then he'd shake your hand out. It was weird. You could have a 20-year-old sister and a 71-year-old grandmother.
Jeez.
He's going in. Dickie Dawson did not give a damn. It was, and you know what we did when we watched the show?
Probably laughed and like, oh, great.
Nothing.
That guy's such a great guy.
Nothing. Like Dick's a great host.
It's so strange.
How long was he the host of?
We're going to look it up because I don't know. I'm going to guess at least 10 years. Mm-hmm. The 10 is, I think, on the bottom half of it. Oh, and we never went like, hey, dude, can you not? It's like, it's kind of weird. Maybe you shouldn't do that.
I'm looking up how long he hosted.
Everybody just said, great job, buddy. You're a great host.
I got the chacal. You don't hear the chacal?
Yes. Yes.
Get him out of there.
You know what that sounded like? It sounded like the dun 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 dun.
Yeah, but the fact that he got people, everybody. Oh, man.
I need to learn Spanish for a variety of reasons, but mostly so I can go back and watch the entire catalog of Sábado Gigante, because that's a show I think I could get with. Amazing. Let's try one more, Jorge. Let's try Jay. Who do we leave out, Jay?
You may have heard of this guy, James Philip Rome, Jim Rome.
He came up.
We thought it was going early. We thought Trav was taking him early.
Look, it's not a terrible choice. It's not a good choice for me necessarily.
He's not going to be your number one overall.
Yeah, he's game changer in our game. He's at the top. He's the Howard Stern for this. He was way out ahead of everybody else as far as the national game goes, but probably not going to be somebody that I put on my
list.
list.
I should have picked him number one overall.
That's a much better pick for you.
I got the number for Dickie Dawson and how long he hosted. So he hosted Family Feud from 76 to 85, and then again from 94 to 95.
So he did 12 years.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit of break, but yeah.
12 non-consecutive years.
Yeah.
And I don't know what
his
count is, his other count, but it's in the thousands.
I wonder if 94, 95, if he was... Because it's about 8 years, something like that he was off the show. I'm thinking he probably stopped doing what he was doing. 94, 95? You ain't doing that 94, 95.
I'd have to. Honestly, I'd have to check the tape.
Yeah,
it could go either way. It could go either. I know in the 70s it was like, hey, welcome to the show. Right on the mouth. It wasn't like, there's a way to kiss somebody you don't know on the cheek that's fairly benign. Right? It's just it's friendly. It's a little.
It's French.
It's very European, very cosmopolitan.
Middle Eastern we do too. We do one on one cheek, one on the other.
Like you could give the mob kiss, the Middle Eastern kiss, the grandma kiss on the cheek, but then there's the going in for the mouth.
Yeah,
that's how Dawson
mouth
did
is
it.
reserved for certain people.
You would like to think. Let's try Torrance and Myron. Myron, what do you got? Hello, Myron.
Yeah. This is more about Richard Dawson. I'm not exactly sure of the order, but before he got on the Kissable Show, he was also on Laugh-In and Hogan's Heroes. I do believe he went to Hogan's Hero, then Laugh-In, and then the Kissable Show.
Yes, I don't know the order either, Myron, but he was on Hogan's. The other thing he was on, and he was a little lascivious on the show as well, was Match Game. He was a panelist on the Match Game all the time, too.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And his answers were always like, come on, Richard, really? Like Richard had a lane.
Yeah, he was something else. He was one of a kind.
Thank you for the call, Myron.
And a kind that we don't really need anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean,
you don't have to worry. That's gone.
You'd make
that ain't happening.
So 5 people on each side in Family Feud, right? It's 5. So there's 10 people. You would get to exactly one person before the first female panelist, and you'd be. The show is on hiatus as we retool with a new host. It would not last long at all. Rabbit Holes coming up next. Greatest show ever. Fuera! Am I saying it right?
Yeah, you are.
That's it.
It's actually called Clubhouse.
You gotta.
I'm gonna need that horn on my page, please.
You'll have it.
We need that. That's coming up. Rabbit Holes next. Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
Moments like hearing my
Dropped off food at your house twice in one day? I don't
Great
know.
question.
Travis and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
There's no earthly way of knowing which direction we are going.
Nothing can possibly go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong. We'll get back to sports in a little bit. Who cares?
Who cares?
So, rabbit hole is what we've been talking about. Whatever we have been searching deeply on the internet for, can't get enough of, watch for hours and hours on end. So, Al, why don't you start us off with your rabbit hole?
Okay, so I'm literally copying you from earlier in the week. Tuesday, Emily said that she watched Hot Ones with Conan O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
Conan was on the show. And then you said you ended up in a rabbit hole literally last night at around 11 o'clock at night. I'm watching Hot Ones with Conan. And
great Hot Ones.
What's the guy's name again? The guy that hosts the show?
Sean. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I'll find out.
Sean Evans.
Sean Evans. That's okay. I wanted to mention. First off, you don't like heat. You don't like any of that stuff, right? You don't
Not
like
anymore.
spice. No, you don't like spice, right? Spice to that level. Please, if you guys get a second, just go watch Conan on Hot Ones. It might be one of the funniest 20 minutes I'm exaggerating a little bit, but
it's
is
pretty great.
So good and so entertaining. And you're talking about, you and I did that the chicken sandwich. Howlin' Ray's. And you got the Scoville level that it has, and it's millions of Scoville level. When I tell you Conan, for the freaking bit, is putting it on his mouth, he's putting on his hands, he's
rubbing
doing
it
this.
in his eye.
He's... It might be the funniest, stupidest thing I've ever seen Conan do. It's very entertaining. But you said that took you then down a rabbit hole. Right after that, an episode just, on YouTube, it's, okay, you liked this, so we're going to feed you this. Conan's telling a story on his podcast of how he got the late night show.
Uh-huh.
And how he initially turned down the late night show. He was writing for The Simpsons at the time.
Sure.
And he had a couple people telling him, hey, don't do it. I don't think you need to do it. And he also didn't feel comfortable. He's like, I can't.
He wasn't a performer.
He was not.
He was more of a writer than anything else.
Well, and he was telling the story, too, that now where it's more common, where writers become, Tina Fey, whatever, you kind of think of what the examples are. He's like, at that time, that wasn't really the case. But he's starting to tell the story of how that all came about. And just like the random phone call when he's talking to his friend where the wife is like, what do you got to lose? And that kind of was his, well, why don't I just go audition for it? What do I got to lose? And that got him going. I went down a rabbit hole, Conan, yesterday. Literally, I copied you from Tuesday.
It's okay. It's a good rabbit hole to get down.
It was really good.
Travis, what's your rabbit hole?
So Lindsay, producer Lindsay, is responsible for this one.
Lindsay Baseball?
Lindsay Baseball.
She's turned you on to a lot of these.
She has.
She's our true crime buddies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So we share a taste for certain types of podcasts. And she turned me on to a podcast called Pretend, which has had a bunch of different seasons, but specifically season 12 of Pretend, which is about these two people that claimed they were being stalked by their daughter's doctor's husband. Okay, so the female doctor, her husband was stalking them. Okay, and they called the medical board. They did all of these crazy things about this. And I don't want to spoil this, but it's not at all what you think it is going into it. It is so bizarre and so surreal and has so many different twists and turns in it that I got one episode left to go in it, but I already know how it ends because...
How many episodes?
There's 12.
All audio?
All audio. But I went online and started researching this thing and finding out because they use pseudonyms. They do not give you their real... Well, it doesn't...
Anonymize it.
Yes.
You're going to find it.
Well, I already did.
Of course.
And they look exactly like I thought they would look. It's fascinating how twisted and not scary.
Okay.
Weird, and just the look into such a twisted human psyche is fascinating to me.
So, are you that person who, if you're watching "quote unquote" Wikipedia show that like talks about a time period, and if you don't know what the story was, do you look it up before the end of the show?
After. Typically.
Okay.
This one, 9 out of 10 times, it's after. This is the 1 out of 10 times. Like,
Yeah.
I need, because I wanted to, in my mind's eye, I wanted to know what these people look like.
Right.
I wanted to know if I was right, because they sound kind of young, and they're not. They're a little bit older than I imagined them to be, and it's just fascinating to me how dark human beings can actually be.
Yeah. Speaking of like Wikipedia shows, I did the same thing when I watched like the different American crime stories. I did know the OJ one before I kind of watched it. When I watched the Versace one and the Bill Clinton one, again, I knew some of the points, but not all the points. I would like try to Wikipedia and be like, is this actually what happened, or is this like I do it as the episode comes out and try to protect myself from quote-unquote spoilers of history. All right, Jorge, what's your rabbit hole?
So we talked about me trying to go to the circus and stuff like that. So somebody started sending me pictures of the DeLorean showing up at the circus. They brought the circus into, and I got, I started liking it. We got into like a little conversation. So then that sparked other people to send me more stuff about the DeLorean, to the point where I forget this guy's name on Twitter. He sent me a link to a YouTube page where they compare Coco and Back to the Future and how they're very similar movies.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm 5 minutes.
love both those movies.
Yeah, five minutes in, he's like, he's the odd one of the family, just like Marty and Miguel, they're the odd ones. They just everything. At some point, I'm like, you know what? This actually does make sense. I didn't finish watching the whole thing. I saw the first 8 minutes of it. But then after that, I started looking at the list of other videos that these guys are comparing different movies. And they make a pretty good case to like how certain movies are very similar.
Well,
even though they're different genres. Right?
I love that. And Emily, you're as the cinephile in the group. There's only so many themes in the world.
Sure.
And you can spin them off a million different ways, but there's love, there's heartbreak, there's fear.
There's like lone wolf and cub. There's lone wolf, just lone wolf. There's all these things of reluctant heroes. It's the same genres, but you got to twist them a little bit. Yeah.
I like that. Coco's one of my favorite Pixars.
Oh, makes me cry every time.
Terrific.
All right, so mine has to do with this TikTok handle called Subway Takes. Okay, so in Subway Takes, this guy who's the host of the show, did not take him as my host, and I don't always love them, but he gets both celebrities and normal people on the subway in New York, and he interviews them and says, hey, what's your hot take? And then basically he'll debate them for 5 seconds, and then he puts it out to the world, and the world debates it basically. So I'm going to play 3 of these quote unquote hot takes of people on the subway. So this first one is a comedian, and she's talking about tipping. Okay, so this is hers.
What's your take?
If I have to go up to order, I'm not tipping. Restaurants are all self-serve. They're all self-serve now.
0%.
0. At this point, I work there.
You're doing the work. You should get tipped.
They have the nerve on the iPad to do 15% tip. That's for Shalom, 20% tip. Tip you? Why don't you tip me? Take 15%, 20 off the bill.
All right, so this is kind of a theme. They're all very New Yorker. They're all very hey, what's the problem with this? I'm walking here. All right, so this next one is about angel hair pasta and how he hates that.
Angel hair pasta, I want it banned.
You don't like angel hair?
I think this tastes of nothing, and if I see it on a menu, I want to run out of the restaurant. It's like food for people that don't like food.
All pasta tastes like nothing. You have to put things on it. Are you just eating it raw?
Do you like angel hair pasta? Mic drop.
100% disagree.
All right, so then there's that one.
Have you guys had Bowdy pasta?
Bowdy. Actually, it's so funny. I see Bowdy pasta everywhere now.
See?
And
Give me a quart of that Bowdy pasta salad for my...
Okay, I have
so good.
One more for you guys. And this might be one that hits home for Travis because I think I agree with her. Okay, so this is a Subway take on mispronunciation.
Allow people to pronounce words wrong.
Allow people to pronounce words wrong?
9 times out of 10, you know what somebody is trying to say, so just allow it.
What are some examples? Like axe? Like ask me a question?
Oh, why are you saying that to me?
That's the first thing that came to mind.
No,
ask
okay.
me a question.
Well, I told a friend, I was like, I'm going to Antigua this year, and she said, it's Antigua. You know what I mean?
It is Antigua.
No, it's Antigua.
That makes absolutely no sense.
It makes no sense.
All right. So basically, these are all people
Send me a link, please. I want to go see more.
These individual hot takes, and then again, you can disagree or agree with these people, and he just kind of allows them to their hot take. So that's what Subway takes.
By the way, things are pronounced a certain way for reasons. Otherwise, the world is anarchy. We need
you know what they're saying.
I understand that. I'm not saying that the general sentiment of the thought or the destination or anything isn't conveyed, but otherwise we can just say whatever we want. Anarchy. Right?
Produce.
Bowdy.
Produce. Bowdy. Yeah.
The Dump is coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. Hey, is your vehicle ready for service? Is it time for general maintenance? Take a look at that sticker in the window. You ready? It's time to get your wipers changed. It rains every day here now. So why not head into your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Because for over 30 years, Valvoline's hooked you up with quick and convenient automotive maintenance services for busy people just like you. You don't have to get out of the car. You don't have to get the kids out of the car. You don't have to get yourself out of the car. You just pull up, drive in, and drive out in about 15 minutes. They've got you covered. You're safe and relaxed while you sit there while their little pit crew goes to work on your car. They've got you covered for so many different things: oil changes, tire rotations, transmission, and a whole lot more. And there are over 80 locations ready to help you get your ride ready for the road in no time. It's about to be summer, and people are about to start driving around. Get that car ready to roll. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and game-winning coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Steve Mason. This is the Mid-Morning Spectacular live from LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
What's going on, guys?
Apparently, days are numbered, Slee.
No, that was a bit on Slee, not on you. Well, I walk in and Slee says we're closed. Yeah, and so I said, listen, we can.
You came in kind of hot.
Oh, I just said I got to get something on real quick.
But you were kind of.
Well, no, I'm just wound up and I'm coughing a lot. I hope this is the end.
It might be. You never know.
The cough went away and now it came back. Might have to get myself checked out.
Are you wound up because you're coughing or for other reasons?
Oh, other reasons. It's been a lot of discombobulation so far.
I hope so. How's the Peloton?
I got to get the shoes.
Oh, yeah, try.
And I'm still debating, can I just order the Amazon ones?
I'm telling you, duct tape that bad boy in there. Get your feet in there. Cut it off every time.
That was a bit from Tuesday. That feels like 5 weeks ago at this point.
I mentioned that to him the other day.
Doesn't it feel like a long time ago?
It does.
But here's why today is the highlight of one Travis Rogers' life.
Oh, wow.
Because tonight at 5 p.m. on the NFL Network and on the Rams social media channels, the debut of Matthew Stafford Locked In. I pitched them to do the promos. Like, guys, I know how to do this. Tonight on Matthew Stafford Locked In.
I'm going to watch it leading into my listening of the new Taylor Swift albums. I'm ready to go. My evening is locked.
It's just like all Stafford and his family and his interactions with his teammates.
But it follows him during that period where things were kind of crumbling. When I was doing a lot of promos making fun of you.
Stafford, you know how they do like those talking head interviews? Right. I feel like I should have been requested for one of those. I could have advocated. I could have advocated for my guy Matthew Stafford. Oh, Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford, it's okay. It's all going to be okay. It
ended
up
being
okay.
I was right.
This year they need to win the Super Bowl, and I think they can.
They might.
I don't think.
No, I think they can.
My friend who works at Hotel Fig. Can't remember his name because I usually fight with him on my walk in from the subway.
Okay.
Morales. I'm like, hey, man, what's up? What's the topic today? I go, Lakers suck. That's the topic. No, man, they're going to win it all. I go, really? Really?
Well, I got a stat for you. You want a stat?
Do I think they're going to win game one? Yes.
Listen.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. I think LeBron's rested. He's going to come in.
If they win game one, we got a series.
He's going to come in like a wrecking ball, and then that'll be it.
Well, it could happen, too.
Do you know what the Lakers are against the Nuggets over the last 23 games?
I know what they did in the playoffs against them last.
Stop. That's a small sample size.
Small sample size, okay.
They're 12-11 against the Nuggets over the last 23.
Okay. Now what is the timeline of those 23 games? Is that 3 years, 4 years?
It's 23 games.
4 years. So you're talking about when the magical year of 2020.
Yes.
When LeBron was 4 years younger.
In the bubble.
I counted all that.
And had the rest before the bubble.
I counted that, but I stopped there.
And Anthony
Davis.
Davis.
I want this to be fair.
Anthony Davis made a 3-pointer.
He did.
That massive.
At the buzzer.
It's a big shot.
At the buzzer.
Haven't seen that kind of shot since.
I think it's the last one he made.
Does that change your opinion?
Come on, man. I got the chest thing.
12-11? Does that change your opinion on the series?
I think they have a shot of making it a series. I don't really think they can win 7 games. From a revenue standpoint, I would love for it to be proven wrong. Mm-hmm. From a bit standpoint, I would love for them not to win a game. It's a tough battle.
Sacrificing the money.
Revenue over bit.
No.
Always.
Always.
Because that affects my bottom line at the end of the year.
I don't know. I see you sacrificing revenue for a really
I've been
good
sacrificing here for like 5 years. I'm done sacrificing.
It's time to get paid.
It's time to. Listen,
you'd like to wet your beak.
I need that Chris Paul contract now.
You need to. I don't get to wet my beak, Tone.
Won a lot of championships. Haven't gotten the checks. Let me get that check.
CP3.
By the way, are the Lakers going to bite on Clay or CP3 for next season?
CP3, no, 100%.
Clay, you say 100%.
It's not 100. It's 94.5.
There's still that window.
Can I just throw one name at you?
He's his buddy.
No, let me just throw one name at you and let you see if you would like to take that from 100 to a different number.
LeBron James?
No. Russell Westbrook.
I think LeBron is a bit master too, and he'll wake up going, I wonder if I could talk them into this.
If they did Russell Westbrook, they'll do Chris Paul.
I wonder if I do a tweet saying I want Chris Paul that the Lakers will do it. I think he sometimes wonders that.
Just like a splash tweet.
Right.
He's going
to
get
instead of an emoji of an hourglass, it's just water.
It can potentially happen. Yeah, I can't say
I can see them biting on Clay in a second.
Clay, I don't think they can financially.
Ireland said they can't afford it, but
they could find a way.
Like our pal Key said, if they want to make something happen, they can make something happen.
We proved that with Key's contract here. Since then, we've been out of money, but we weren't out of money from 2017 to 2019.
We got him. That's
Anyway.
good news about the Stafford doc.
I'm actually
in.
looking forward to it.
Me too.
You know me. I like documentaries of sports more than sports. The
Yeah.
story of sports is much more enticing.
You took down all of OJ Made in America last weekend.
And I discovered one this morning. So a lot of times I don't get in until 10-ish because of the train schedules or meeting schedules, but I'm working from 4 a.m. on. Emily knows. So that's when she catches me with good, like, Succession news.
Okay.
Or good bits that she knows I'll enjoy, like in the 6 o'clock hour. There was a new one that was on the Max app.
OJ?
It was like OJ and Nicole Sadness or something, and it was from one of the sisters' point of view.
Well, we know what Travis is doing later.
I had never seen that one, and it had more video of the wedding and stuff. Again, I've seen all angles.
OJ and Nicole, An American Tragedy.
An American Tragedy. Kind of like Mason and Bergman, An American Tragedy.
Are they not getting along?
No, they're not getting along
fighting?
yesterday. They had to do
I mean,
show
who's
to-
the A? That's where the
Berg.
fighting goes over.
Well, Mason's an A. We all agree that Mason's a good A.
He says he's an A. I'm not going to start this all over again. Man. Then I got to pretend to do a bit for a week.
I have a.
It's exhausting, frankly.
Are you around? You're in meetings, or are you in your office?
I got a hard stop at 1 o'clock.
No, it's after Supercross talk. I got it.
Mace. I thought Mace had a scarf on for a second.
I think this is enough time. Why is it Yacht Rock?
No, not this again.
Good one, Al.
Why is it Yacht?
Al is always good for that stuff. I don't like calling you Al, but that was the night of the Mandy's.
You call him Al.
Chivato, this guy.
Well, no, but that's good. You're the one that gave the good joke. Why should I take credit for a good
Oh,
joke?
delivered it.
Oh, you said it in his ear?
Yeah, he delivered it.
Oh, I thought that time he was a little too quick.
I would need to write it down.
I have an OJ nugget for you that it's not my nugget to share, so I can't share it on the air.
Okay.
But I think that you will like it a great deal.
Okay.
I also won trivia on the back of my OJ knowledge.
That's right.
Yesterday.
Why didn't they why not do a funeral for him? They just didn't want the
For the bit, and I'm not doing a bit.
But
like
why,
for the bit,
just
his
His
kids,
family, yeah.
was that his choice to be cremated and no funeral? I don't think
Typically
that's
is.
an OJ thing. OJ, I feel, would want a celebration.
OJ likes to be the center of attention,
right?
Even in his passing, I thought it was interesting that there was going to be no slice of brain to see if he had CTE. I thought that they were. They
I thought you were about to do
either.
a joke about a slice or something.
No. That they said he would be cremated and he would not be tested for CTE.
I think we all know it probably was there.
I would be stunned if it
Given
weren't.
the history that we've seen with
Yeah. It
that doesn't take away what he did or
Of
allegedly
course
did.
not.
Allegedly did.
Well,
Or
he
actually,
stole-
what he
Chris,
was convicted of
Chris,
in Vegas.
He stole the memorabilia.
That was
he did 19 years for taking football cards. Nothing for a couple of other things.
19 years.
He wasn't in for 19 years. He was
That was
sentenced for 19,
sentence,
but
yeah.
he was in for a while.
Anyway,
Taylor Swift at 9 p.m. Don't
I know.
forget.
I heard. Now that's 9
to
p.m.
10:01.
That's 9 p.m. Pacific, right?
Yeah, 9 p.m. Pacific. The first single is going to be Fortnite featuring Post Malone.
Do we go Swift 710 tomorrow and just really piss some people off?
I like it.
That's a lot of work tonight to do.
I like it.
You're already asleep by 9.
And
Not tonight. He's going to be all wound up on the Stafford thing. So he's going to watch the live feed at 5, watch the replay at 8, and be
Live
like,
tweeting.
Michael, Susan, get in here. I'm all wound up on the Stafford
He's going
stuff.
to tell Michael the cul-de-sac, all right, here's what I want you to run. He's having him run routes.
It's a good idea. It's a good. It's a
Susan,
it's
give
not
me
a bad
my,
idea.
Susan, give me my route running shoes.
I mean, these are all good ideas. There's nothing on tonight, so it could be a 9 o'clock bedtime. Yeah, instead of my usual 9:45. Nothing.
I think we would
No,
say the
no
only-
Lakers, no Clippers,
I think
no
Ramona
Dodgers,
just walked
no
in. Ramona should
Angels,
be the A today.
no anything.
No, nothing.
You don't want me
See,
to
I
add?
thought you didn't want to do that.
It's just it's so much work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you've done it before.
She did it last week.
Yeah, I did it
And
when
you
I
had
made
your own
Greg do all the
show.
work.
I know.
I said, if you do all the work, then I'll do the A.
It was
Like,
so
all I have
it was
to do
so
is-
fresh sounding. It was
was
so
good, right?
nice. It was the day I came back from Pachanga after the Rams conference.
listen the whole time?
I listened the whole time, and it was so fresh. It was fresh.
As opposed to
Stale.
Stale is the opposite of fresh. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
I feel like I got to talk a lot that day.
I know it was great. I enjoyed it. Anyway, I didn't come in here to start more trouble. Stafford,
No, never.
Matthew Stafford, locked in tonight at 5 o'clock on NFL Network and on the Rams social media channels, which I believe is YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So be sure to check that out. I can't wait for
I'll
it.
be tuning in.
Excellent. Emily's got a double feature: Stafford
Oh,
and
she's
Taylor
busy.
Swift.
She's
all
freaking busy
all
tonight.
set up. Don't leave. I'm coming by.
Am I
You-
doing
you're
a
gonna
solo show today? Where's Mace?
I don't know. You're gonna like the
What's
nugget,
going on?
Morales. You're gonna like it. How are you, Momo?
I'm all right. How are you guys?
I am fantastic. How
We
did your
saw him,
recording
but
of the
you left
Daily
him.
go with Yates?
Clinton, it's good. You know, it's like I'm gearing up for a press tour.
Yeah.
Because we got the.
Or are you going to do the junket?
Yeah, I guess I'm going to be on the car wash.
Oh,
That's what they
okay.
call it, the car wash.
Okay.
Working at it just means you do every show and you just say the same things over and over.
But you're going to go outside ESPN too, right?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last time I talked to people I've never even heard of.
Oh,
I was
yeah?
like, what show is this?
Does everybody know the story, or are people coming in with like, I don't even know what this is?
It's a little bit of both. Like I can't say yet. I've done a couple of interviews so far. We did Television Critics Association. Oh, by the way, back up. The show Clipped is coming out June 4th.
Mm-hmm.
It's we're almost to the 10-year anniversary of the Sterling.
Has
tapes.
it been that long?
Next week is 10 years.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not
V.
kidding.
Stiviano entered my life 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's
that
amazing.
Sounds like a lot longer than it.
I would have guessed 5 or 6.
Yeah, I would have said maybe 7 years.
Yeah.
April 25th, 2014.
Oh yeah, 14.
Unreal.
Oh,
So you,
15, yeah.
of course, reported the story, made
Yeah.
the podcast, and now it's being turned into a series.
Yeah, on FX Hulu. It comes out June 4th. And so we're going to re-release the podcast.
Okay.
Right, which is what you do. Like, hey, here's a reminder in case you're...
Companion
catch
piece.
up to speed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll put the podcast out a week or two before the show comes out. It's like sort of a reminder of of everything. And then I'm working with the
What if I
30
told you-
team to do a little bonus episode.
Okay.
And we're also going to do companion recordings each week. So we're sort of working all of it out, but the idea is we're going to have like actors and producers and writers on the show reacting to the... Emily knows all about this. You listen to all the companion podcasts.
Yeah.
Well,
I
The
love
Ringer
it.
does that. It would be kind of fun if I was on The Ringer. Like, I'll do one of those reaction shows.
Do a prestige TV podcast. Yeah.
And I think the idea is we're gonna get hey, let's get Lawrence Fishburne, who plays Doc Rivers. We'll get him for one episode, or you'll have
Who's playing Sterling? Is it
Ed O'Neill?
Ed O'Neill, that's right. Yeah.
Al Bundy, basically.
4 touchdowns in one game at Polkai.
Polkai.
Somebody on this radio station, maybe over there, I think. I could be wrong about this.
It was a tweet.
Somebody said that I look like Ed O'Neill. No.
No.
It was
Okay,
Alex downstairs.
Alex,
yeah,
that's what it was. The security guard. Thank you.
Okay, well, I will
Thank
say
you, Ramona.
this, Ramona. There was did you see the picture where they put the two together?
I don't feel like I look.
On
I guess
X?
sometimes when I get one of these, I'm
Some
like, yeah, that's. I don't.
similarities.
It hurts my feelings, but it's true. This one doesn't
he's
feel
also
true.
like way older than you.
Thank you. See, yeah.
I mean, I think
not that
he's
much.
Listen to
is he late 60s, 70s, something like that.
I would think he's in his. Yeah,
Look
that
it up.
sounds
I
about
don't know.
right.
I think he's like
That
70
sounds about
something.
right.
I've met him in person. He looks younger because he dyes his hair and stuff, but he's
78.
78.
So only 4 years younger than you.
He old. I mean, because I knew when we were casting Sterling, he was younger than Sterling was at the time, but it was not by
He was
much.
in his 80s, right?
Sterling turned 80. It was his 80th birthday actually, right before Game 4.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I can't.
What's up, Mace?
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to
oh my
re-listen
God,
to it.
Jeez, is that Steve Mason?
Whoa, Mace is all hung up.
so-
You know what we should do,
look at it,
Jorge?
I can already
We
see
should
the
do a little
muscles
Supercross
forming.
talk.
I can see
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM, Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Aloha. So, you've started your superhero body thing?
Yes, I have.
How you doing?
I'm sore as hell.
Hey.
I really am
Head to
sore.
toe?
Head to toe. Yesterday was leg day.
Oh, never skip leg day, Mace.
No, never
Dude,
skip
you
leg.
need to go to cryo every day.
Yeah, I probably should go to cryo.
When I started training again, I had to start going to cryo every day.
Yeah, I am. I'm in this now. I found out yesterday.
How deep
Is this
in?
at home or are you at a gym?
I'm 2 weeks in. I'm going to a gym.
Okay.
Yeah, so 3 days a week.
3 days
How
a week?
long's the workout?
An
You
hour.
have to do more than that.
Okay.
What do you mean?
You can get
You're gonna have to
superhero.
3 days.
fit.
No, what are you talking
You can't get
about?
superhero fit
Momo's
3 hours a
telling
week.
me 3 hours a
he
week
said
for
you
6
need
months.
5
I'm
days.
absolutely going to be
said you
superhero
need
ready.
5
What are you
days.
doing on the other 4 days?
Cardio.
Okay, all right.
I got to have cardio
Okay,
days in
okay.
there.
You gotta stay lean.
I gotta lean out. Lean out.
Are you cutting water yet? Are you going to take Lasix to really get
No,
shredded?
you have to drink more water.
But I'm thinking
right
about
up until the reveal. And
Right,
then you
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
cut.
The day
then you gotta
before,
cut like
you
a
go
fighter.
to the sauna and you eat ice chips and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm not at that point yet. I'm not at the ice chips point of the process.
What's the toughest workout you're doing so far?
Okay, so there's this exercise where you have a weight here. Okay, if you're on YouTube, you get it.
Yep.
You have a weight here, and you.
Okay, when you say here, he means his arms.
On your right arm, you lift your left leg in the air.
This is all right leg, right?
Okay.
And you've got to do this 15 times.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
That your arms are shaking without a weight. It can't be a good sign.
No, my arms are. Everything is shaking right now. Everything.
Supposed to.
I worked out last night. Today, everything is shaking.
I know what you did because I'm giving you a hard time because I've been there before.
Oh,
it's trying to
God.
lift your coffee cup is coming up
Exactly.
like this.
It's coming up shaky. So I heard you're in it. I'm in it, man. I'm doing this
Did you
thing.
hear our draft?
Yeah, I did hear the draft.
Okay.
Did you see my draft
I
picks?
did. I responded to it. We responded to it on the air. So it's Conan O'Brien's birthday today, Momo.
Happy birthday.
How old is Conan?
Em, do you know how old Conan is? 50. Got to be 50-something, maybe 60? Maybe?
Yeah,
He is 61.
61.
Oh, wow.
61. So in honor of Conan O'Brien's birthday, we are drafting our favorite hosts. Mm-hmm. I almost did what you did.
Oh.
But I had the first pick.
Yeah, I know you did.
So, and I almost went with myself at number one overall.
I think that's a great call.
I thought so, but I really wanted Oprah, mostly because I think she is the number one overall pick.
Yes.
Wait, nobody can have Oprah except for me.
No, I
No,
took
you
her.
weren't even.
Emily,
You were not even in the draft.
I don't care.
M1 and
Oprah is my girl.
Emily had the second pick, and I knew that she was going to take Oprah if I didn't take her. So
Sure.
I got A, the right pick, and B, I got to twist the knife a little bit with them. So I took
loved
Oprah.
Jorge taking Letterman in there.
Terrific.
Just to screw Sliwa.
So who's got the
That
best
was on
list?
me.
You've heard this list.
Okay.
You
Give me the
tell
list.
me. Here are my three. We each get three. Oprah Winfrey, Alex Trebek, Johnny Carson.
Oh,
Strong.
I've
heard enough, by the way.
Yeah, I've heard enough.
Emily Colbert,
Good.
Jeff Probst,
Yep.
Tyra Banks.
Oh, I don't know about the Tyra. Okay.
I don't.
No,
My
she
dad.
she has a personal connection to Tyra.
It just her as a host infected my brain at a very young age,
Okay.
and so I have a heart pick of. I watched a lot of Tyra content.
I do like the Jeff Probst pick. That's good.
Yeah, I
He's a
love
really
Survivor.
good Survivor host.
Yeah, I've never watched Survivor, but I'm sure
Nor
he's
have I.
very good at what he does.
I've watched every single season of every
Yeah,
single.
you do.
Like
Wait,
all
are you watching
20
this
plus
season?
years?
No, I haven't. This is the only. The last two seasons I've kind of fallen off because of the two children. It just
happens.
It happens.
Sleaze list: Conan,
Yep.
Joe Rogan, Ernie Johnson.
No.
No,
No,
Slee, you're out.
Ernie Johnson's fantastic.
Ernie's great. Conan's great. I don't know about the Rogan thing. I don't know.
because
for
you don't
everybody.
like
It's
Joe
okay.
Rogan,
No.
or
I
because
listen to Rogan.
It's a 3-hour podcast. Get him an editor.
It is, by the way, it is a
Jesus.
long
It's
podcast.
so
It is a very long
He had
podcast.
Like anytime, like the other guy that it's always so long, the Huberman podcast. I love that podcast.
Yeah.
but it's
Did
so
you read that
long.
piece in New York Magazine?
Huberman's
about him?
podcast is
Wow.
so long. What did the New York?
Just read it and tell me what you
Really?
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's the Mr. I know everything
Just-
about health
Well, he knows
science.
everything
He
about
knows what he's got.
dating.
Oh,
He's got a lane.
I'll have to
Yep.
look for it.
Okay,
Yep.
so
Is that fair,
Rogan,
Ramona?
Yeah, got a link.
Rogan had a pod a couple days ago. Came
Yeah.
out. It just says 4 hours and
Come
19
on.
minutes.
Oh, come on.
That's
Oh, they
ridiculous.
go. They go.
Seriously.
But the best way to just catch the clips.
Who?
You don't have to
Yeah,
watch.
yeah,
Right,
that's
well,
true.
that's the
That's
thing.
true.
Just
I mean,
catch
you
the
can now
clips.
break things
20
into...
minutes here.
Also, we just
15
can't put
minutes
Joe
here.
Rogan and Alex Trebek in the same category. Come on, Alex Trebek is
Alex Trebek.
Right.
Exactly.
Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson.
They are 100%. But in
Oprah.
today's
I mean,
world,
come
Rogan
on.
is as big
No,
as it
Rogan-
is.
Oprah.
Rogan is...
Standing O for Oprah.
Rogan
Wait, nobody
does
can
have
have
sway.
Oprah except for me. Yes. That's my girl.
Jorge's three
Oprah.
choices were Letterman.
Not because he ever cared. or
Jorge,
watched
I'm going to
it,
need
it's 'cause of
help
me.
with the pronunciation of your second pick.
Christina Saralehi.
Yeah, Christina.
Christina.
Okay, whatever he
As
said.
I like to call her.
And Don Francisco's a
from
great pick.
Sábado Gigante.
Love Sábado Gigante.
I used to
What was your
call...
first one, Jorge? The first one?
Letterman.
Letterman. Okay.
Letterman. Yeah.
When I was on Fox Sports Radio, I was on Saturday nights. And
Yeah.
so I called the show Sábado Gigante.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did, because I love as a
It's so
as a
cool.
tribute to Don
Yeah.
Francisco and
That's
Sábado
awesome.
Gigante.
Travis, you win.
Travis, you win.
That's all I
Listen,
needed to
What would
hear.
be your three? What would be your three?
Well, Oprah.
Okay, there's one. There's one. What's the other two?
Carson.
I would go Letterman. I was a Letterman person, but also I was kind of younger, so because like Letterman's more my era than Carson.
Right.
I go Oprah, Letterman, and then nobody had Phil Donahue. Nobody. Jerry Springer.
Phil Donahue's a good one.
Donahue's a good one. Donahue was kind of
he was
first on the beach, right? Like he
and then
was.
Oprah was like, "Yo, get out of here, Phil."
Right.
He started in.
Let me show you.
He
how you
started
do this.
in Dayton, Ohio.
Donahue did.
His show was live from
Yeah.
Dayton, Ohio, which is in Toledo, we used to make fun of Dayton. So I was surprised that the show
No,
came
I
from
think
there.
I would probably go Jerry Springer as the third.
No one took Howard.
No one took
I know.
Howard. That's the other thing. Nobody took Howard
I thought
Stern.
you were going to take, because you did your list.
Yeah, my list would really be Carson, Letterman, Howard.
Well, you put you, and we just
Me,
thought.
and Stern as the alternate.
We were talking about Howard Stern, but we got there talking about when he showed up on Magic's talk show. Do you
I don't
remember
all
that?
this. No, Magic's talk show.
The Magic Hour.
Yeah, the Magic Hour.
And Stern would open up the Howard Stern show every day, just dissecting the night before.
Really, just
And then they put Stern on the Magic Hour, and it did not go well.
I can't imagine it would.
Do you know what? You know who we're also forgetting here? Like I threw in Jerry Springer because that was such a cultural,
big
like
time
icon and genre that he created. Just trash TV. Right?
Yep.
Is that what we trash talk shows?
Sure.
I do think that we are forgetting like Dick Clark, Ryan Seacrest.
That category is kind of not there. I like some older school talk. Like I love Larry King.
Oh yeah, Larry King.
I worked with and used to listen to when I was a kid. Tom Snyder.
Yeah, Tom Snyder
was fantastic.
Rick Dees.
Rick Dees.
Rick Dees was famous for a really long time across the Disco Duck.
Yeah,
I mean he had a lot of things going on.
We've told this story a few times. Me and
Duck.
Ireland used to work down the hall from Rick Dees, and he knew that we were there. But every time one of us walked by him, he would say, "Hey, Stephen John, Stephen John." He didn't know which of us was Steve and which of us was John, so he just said both. Hey, Stephen John.
What happens if you just saw one of them?
If
Stephen
he just saw you,
he'd say, "Hey, Stephen John, Stephen John."
You can't go wrong there.
Yeah, no, you couldn't.
You never could be accused of not saying you by
He was
name.
a very big radio guy.
Oh, he was. So I only met him twice. So when I was working for Jim, we were all under the giant Clear Channel umbrella,
right, sure.
right? And so
102.7 Kiss FM.
with Wise, by the way, I loved Wisnack back in the day when his character Wisnack.
Right.
It's so stupid, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And he was at the table next to our table at the Christmas party. And on YouTube, you'll be able to see this, but he had his back to our table, and somebody called his name, and he turned around like this.
Whoa.
That seems like him.
Yeah.
That seems like
it was
him.
like a Pirates of the Caribbean character turning to look
it was like
at you.
going through the ride.
It was. How you doing? It was very like.
Yeah.
All right, John and Steve.
He lives in Kentucky now. He has
made
a horse
all the
farm.
money.
Are you serious?
Yeah, has a horse farm. Always
How do you know
did.
this?
Because I got to know. And and he still does some sort of radio show from down there on the farm.
That's his life,
I'm gonna go a little off the board here too, though.
Okay.
We're just kind of ignoring all the ESPN guys, but don't you, Stephen A?
Oh, Stephen A. Sure.
Stephen A.
Yeah, Stephen A.
You could pick Stephen A. You could pick Chris Berman. Like, I mean, you know what I mean?
You know who I left off? I left Jim Rome off my list.
Yeah.
You're not the first one to bring that up.
He was fourth.
We had
I was about to say Rome.
So Emily was the first one off the rope at the beginning of the day.
Yeah, no.
A caller brought it up later.
Yeah.
You're third, man.
I'm
Sorry, buddy.
third in.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Good
Those are the
choice,
days.
though.
It was a good choice.
Kind of a genre changer.
Yeah.
Totally.
He was.
Absolutely.
Totally. Yeah.
That'd be probably not the pick I would use.
No,
but,
sure. You
but,
would not.
You could take.
I mean, in the top
taken
three,
there,
it's hard to make my list.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if any, I would have been thrown if somebody took Oprah before me too.
Yeah, right. By the way, you're a big
1-1.
Conan guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it didn't do it
never
for me.
got
Me
Conan.
neither.
Me neither.
But I have nothing against the
Me
guy.
too. I feel the same way.
I ran into him in a restaurant
Yeah.
one time. He's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
his
yeah.
hair.
He's tall.
He's
Well,
so
so
tall
he-
and thin.
like I think Conan can be funny frequently, but he was never my guy.
Yeah, I mean,
like he was never like I got to go see
Letterman was truly
Letterman
my guy.
was my guy for sure.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Kimmel's really funny.
He's great.
But I'm not like aggressively put off the way I am by like Fallon and Corden.
Yeah.
It's not that Conan doesn't occupy that space. Like
Right.
I see Jimmy Fallon, I want to bang my head on the desk.
I'm not a
can't.
big Jimmy Fallon fan. Anybody here sticking up for Jimmy? No.
I mean, he seems like a okay guy.
I will use this and then we'll get out of here. I am a huge Simpsons fan, and there's a Simpsons that always applies to everything. There's an episode where Bart and his pal Milhouse are laughing hysterically, staring at something on the television. Homer breaks into the room and says, "What are you laughing at?" And if you say Fallon, I know you're lying.
That's very funny.
That's
Supercross Talk was brought to you by In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger's all about.